There we go. Now they'll be able to hear me. Because every week I forget to go in here and change this. Why? Because I'm a fucking moron. Those levels good? I can't tell. They look good. I think they're good. We'll go with it. If I have to fix it later, I'll fix it. Great. Internet connection problem. Yep. 62.
Okay.
You get that shit under control? What? Can you not hear me?
I can hear him. Why can't I hear him?
Because I don't speak stupid?
There we go. I was on the wrong channel on the headphones. There we go.
That worked far too well. Far too well.
Bravo.
I do what I can.
I know. And we greatly appreciate it. Please don't tell me my headphones are fucked up.
Are your headphones fucked up?
If I can hear him talking in yours, I'm not getting anything. Hang on.
Oh no, everything is broken.
Those? It got unplugged. Uh-oh. Did I step on it? It's all my fault.
Everything is all your fault all the time. Bum 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 bum. Flesh. Ah, savior of the universe.
Hello, and welcome to episode 37 of the Super Happy First Frosty Party with Kiki, Free, and of course me, the Jabberwock. That's right, please. I'm here, I'm always here, regardless of your inability to remember me, I am always in the shadow. With a hot cup of tea.
Why can't shit be cheaper?
Because life is unfair.
I know. It's totally pissing me off, goddammit.
I apologize for things I have zero control over. Hi, Cupcake.
Hi. I'm scrolling through the rare anime section of animecornerstore.com and dreaming of things I can never afford.
Well, if it's rare anime, then that's why it's expensive.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I want to have to pay $190 for something.
Window shopping, yay!
I do what I can. And they have all the Blu-rays together in one place. Nice, good of them.
Okay, now that I can hear everyone.
Hooray!
Hooray!
I am a consumer whore. And how? I really am a consumer whore.
We're all consumer whores. So
Grieve, did you hear the news? What I've acquired? I don't remember if you were here when I
don't think I told her. What did you acquire?
You want to tell her, Kiki?
Season 2?
Yep. Guess how much I paid?
$150.
Nope.
120.
Nope.
100.
Yep.
I may have been giving her hand signals.
I'm so proud of the fact that I managed to talk somebody into selling me their basically brand new box for $100.
That is awesome. But what did we learn about that?
I don't know. What did we learn?
That there's a missing episode.
Oh yeah, the beach episode is missing.
No.
The general consensus was it was removed because it didn't do anything for the story.
But that's okay. There's other ways to watch. It's fluff.
I'm sure Kiki will simply just share it with me and we'll watch it some other way.
But yeah, we got to episode 33. Yay! When Venus finally shows up. Yay! Oh, that just means that you're not to my favorite episode yet. Well, one of my favorite episodes. I was going to say, which one's your favorite? Well, overall, my extreme favorite is... Oh, it's kind of hard, isn't it? I think it's when the aliens are there.
Oh, the start of R?
But, like, you know, the end part of the whole conflict.
That is a good episode.
When the two come back together and just... I cried.
No, but from season 1. What's your favorite?
Oh, definitely what you guys are going to be coming up on.
Is that what I'm thinking?
Okay. So I have...
the building and the, yeah. I like that episode, but I hate...
But that's the start of it, because I have, like, 3 at the end of the first season that when you put them together, they're my favorite. There's what happens in the building.
Mm-hmm.
There's what happens after that with revealing a certain person's identity. And then there's when she... the last episode.
You know, it's not exactly a secret that Sagi is the Moon
No,
Princess.
not that. We're just trying not to say what exactly happens.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. I'm like, you don't have to talk about like the obvious stuff because like I obviously know who all the Sailor Scouts are and stuff. That's not something that's easily hidden anymore.
And the show recently switched to the second opening, which shows her as the princess. So
Yeah, I hate they did that. I mean, yeah, have a new, opening when something new happened in the last episode.
Mm.
They shouldn't be showing her as the princess when they haven't even done it in the show yet. That is, like, the most ridiculous thing on the face of the planet.
But no, regarding the building episode, as we're going to now refer to it, I love that episode, but I hate some of the animation in it. Some of the animation in certain segments is really shitty, and it's an important episode. It kind of ruins it.
I'm fairly impressed with the fact that they've kept the off-model animation to a minimum.
Mm-hmm. There are just some episodes where it's like, whoa.
Well,
Yeah.
Or even it's not so much that it's terrible, it's just comparatively kind of shitty.
See, I blame it on just how early it is. Like, if something like that were to come up in the reboot, then I would be horrified, and I would be, like, writing angry letters.
Animation is far more consistent these days.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause it's all computer animated, so they can get away with a lot of stuff that they...
It's much easier to make every episode look like it's part of the same thing.
It's easier to be consistent.
Yeah.
And, like, that was my major thing that I was, like, telling myself whenever I saw something, which was, like, okay, this is old.
Yeah, this is from the early 90s, so...
Yeah, and they were still doing shit on paper,
and they were under time limits, you gotta get shit out fast.
Exactly.
With probably a shitty budget, and every episode probably had its own different art director and animation staff, so the styles could differ greatly.
Yeah. Plus you have this person writing or drawing this scene, you have this person drawing this scene, and they're not, like, really sharing with each other until they're done.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, say she slaps him on the left cheek, and in the next frame he's holding his right. Shit like that happened all the time. But they do the same thing when, like, actors and actresses are in a movie.
Well, that's an issue of someone didn't catch the continuity or...
Exactly. Or they were getting ready to do the take again, and she slaps a different cheek, and they decided to keep the first part from when she slapped the left, and then the ending from when she slapped the right, and paste it together. But with computers and stuff now they can go back and go, okay, well, this is this frame and this is this frame, and just run it all together and make sure that it's consistent. So
I'd say generally that stuff happened because they were slicing film together, and they weren't real sure where the takes were that they wanted. Now it's all digital with it, and like specific files and
yeah. And now they can do that with anime. And it's really awesome now.
Animation in general, be it 2D style or 3D or a blend thereof, has greatly been helped by computer animation.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of sad that people don't really hand draw a lot anymore. but
Well, no, they're still using their hands. It's just an issue of it's not going on a piece of paper. That's really the only difference.
yeah, but it's also, since they can do it on the computer and replicate certain drawings, they don't need as many. Animators as they used to.
True.
So it's cut down on it, and it's more consistent, yes, but there's people who don't have jobs now.
Well, they become either they don't get into animation or they do other parts of the animated field, like storyboarding and other things like that.
Or they discover a talent for voice acting, because apparently you can never have too many of those.
You know what's really fun? Basically, everyone is outsourced to Korea for the filler animation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, key animation is done in the country of origin, but all the filler, Korea, basically slave labor.
Yeah.
That's jacked up.
And then they get it back, they sort of clean it up, fix it a bit maybe, and then that's the episode.
Aww.
You know what show I kind of want to watch again?
Huh.
Handmaid May.
It's a good show.
You know, it actually was. It's very generic, but I'm never going to forget the scene where he's the guy, the main character, is bemoaning the fact that he let May go, and then the delivery person brings him, like, a memento from her, and then it turns out to be her in disguise. But, like, she's full size, which leads to all kinds of shenanigans.
I wasn't sure if you'd seen the show.
Oh, yeah, my guy was watching it, so it's one of those things where he watches something and I watch over his shoulder. Actually, something just occurred to me. We should be having this entire conversation while recording.
It is recording.
It is recording?
Yes.
It says recording.
Oh.
I wouldn't have been saying anything.
And you guys didn't say welcome.
Because I have a robot for that.
I am here, green.
Yes, we've outsourced.
I mean,
Okay.
occasionally I might do it, but yeah, we haven't done our own openings and closing for quite a while.
Wow.
Because
Hi,
That's what
my
we have
name is
Jabberbot
Grief,
for,
and I
obviously.
have no brain.
That's what the Jabberbot's for.
So I'm brain dead.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you mentioned Handmaid Me, and it made me think, an old to me anime that I'd like to go back and watch. Love Hina.
That's also another good one. Well, classic. It has some boring parts, but yeah.
It has a few.
I
fun
completely
parts
missed
in
that.
it.
Love
Huh?
Hina.
Oh, Love Hina? I've never seen that, actually.
Love Hina is one of those older shows that suffers from it's older, so it's got a lot of superfluous episodes.
Yeah. And it was
But
just
other
something
than
I
that, it's
saw a
great.
long time ago, so
It's like the classic good harem.
yeah.
I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I never managed to buy it, of all things. It's like, I had the first season of Nagima. I never bought the second season. I really meant to. I just never did. The other problem is, of course, that we, there's nobody around who sells anime in store anymore. So, what I buy has been heavily limited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it just happened to be one of those ones where there was a harem thing going on, everybody's in love with everybody else, pretty much, but, there's nothing dirty going on.
Indeed.
That's actually a song from a musical, but not getting into that. That's actually one of the things that I liked about it, was that it didn't, it wasn't just sexual or really have anything to do with sex. It was just, this guy's living in a place with a bunch of girls, and a bunch of the girls like him, and they're fighting over him a little bit.
And there's a lot of the classic, he's not really a pervert, but he's very much an accidental pervert.
Yes,
like,
very
never
much
intentionally, and he will suffer greatly for it. But
especially from the lead girl.
Well, yeah, because she's like...
Because it sends him flying.
Yeah, she's a classic Sundry.
He ends up marrying her in the end.
Well, yeah, it's...
Oh, of course.
It's one of those harem animes where you know who's going to end up with each other, but there's still this other cast.
I knew from, like, episode 1.
So that was the one thing that pissed me off about War on Gemnar, which takes place 15 years after the end of Tenchi Muyo. I want to know who the hell he ended up with. The half brother brings it up a couple of times that Tenchi ended up marrying somebody. He never says who.
I'm guessing that's one of the things that you would have to read the manga for.
The manga never made it clear.
I don't think the manga actually made it clear.
Really? I never read it.
I think
know
the
there are,
OVAs...
I think there's like headcanon explanation, but they're not actual canon. So
the only person I knew that actually read the manga was the girl that we don't like.
Okay, we don't like a lot of girls these days.
You're not explaining anything.
Oh, the super don't like. Okay.
Yeah, the super don't like.
Okay.
That's gotta be bad.
I don't know. I never trusted her to what she said she had and had not read or watched.
It was on her bookshelf, and it looked like it had been read, so I kind of went with her when she said that she had read it. So.
Okay.
But, yeah.
All I know was that the OVAs insinuated that, originally insinuated that it was going to be either Ayaka or Ryoko. But they talk about Tsunami being the prettiest, and then they make the connection that Tsunami is the adult representation of Sasami. And 15 years would be just about enough time for Sasami to go from being a precocious 10-year-old to being...
hot.
Yes.
Tasty. We're not perverts.
Well, no, we're talking about the adult version of her.
Oh, yeah.
Who is hot.
Yeah. Because there's nothing dirty going on. He's not saying anything.
So anyway, going back to favorite episodes, there are a lot of good episodes in season 1 of Sailor Moon, but I think my favorite is the second to last one. Because it's just all about the girls' relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Now I'm gonna have to change that. Okay, so there's 4.
Wait, what?
What's your favorite episode so far, Bones?
Favorite episode. Trying to think. Let's see here. Well, obviously, I've enjoyed all of the episodes where they introduce a new Sailor Scout, because usually they have to come up with some unique way of doing that. Other than Sailor Venus, who's just like, "Hi, I'm Venus. What's up?"
What's up, bitches? I'm here.
Yeah, no, she just shows up. She's like, "Hey, what's up?"
After watching them.
Apparently, they just accept her because, they've been doing this, we'll say for a couple months at this point. And they're just like, "Yeah, sure, we can always use help."
Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, what else?
I mean, you have Amy, which Usagi basically bumps into her, and then they find out that Amy's not very popular, and then but Usagi is, so then Amy becomes popular, or at least liked by a lot of people, and then you have Rei, which is basically what they went to her shrine and got attacked, and that's how Rei got pulled in. And then
it was somebody that you were just gonna say Makoto, huh?
Well, I don't actually remember. I don't remember Rei's entrance into the series that well. I just know that it had something to do with the shrine, because they were at the shrine the first time.
It's mostly because Jedi was using the shrine, the buses to the shrine, and the girls heard the rumor about it, so they went to the shrine.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's how she gets involved. And then Makoto just shows up and saves Usagi at one point, and then they find out that she's just transferred to their school. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and that's just her story of basically Usagi making buddy-buddy with her. And then Mina is just like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Wasn't it like somebody that Makoto knew got attacked?
She didn't know him. They just stumbled upon him. He was
and she was trying to help, but she couldn't really do anything. So Luna gave her the transformation thing, told her what to do, and then she could help.
Yeah, that's the start of the Rainbow Crystals arc.
Yeah. Oh, it was the priest.
No. The priest is after that.
The priest is after that. It's the
crane guy?
Yes.
The game guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because she reminded her of the guy she liked.
Yeah. Everybody reminds her of that.
What's his name? Mitoto? No, I don't remember.
Just get used to hearing Makoto go, he reminds me of my ex-boyfriend.
He's good.
Yes. that I had a hard time not laughing at that.
Oh, go ahead and laugh. I did every time. And then according to, apparently my guy thinks I sound like her.
Like she's nuts, but okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's apparently everybody reminds me of somebody, and even according to him I have way too many exes to count. I don't think that's true.
No, you don't have that many exes.
Yeah, those are just ones I slept with.
I know, I was doing math, but
I had a lot in junior high.
I would say at least going by the measuring stick of other women I've known, it's not a lot. I'm not even
for him.
No more than Kiki.
I'm like girlfriend number 4.
Well, that's good. That means you're just third runner up.
Yeah. And girlfriend number 1 was my girlfriend at the time he was dating her, so.
Yeah. At least we didn't have any crossovers like that.
Well, no, the magical thing about us is that we knew the exact same fucking group of people and didn't meet until high school when I stopped talking to those people.
Yeah. I always say that your guys' is super magical.
Well, that's because I was the sex party side and he was the school side of those groups.
Yeah. And then just meeting him just totally made you want to corrupt him.
You know he was something to fill the time.
12 years later.
Corrupting him later, and then, actual emotion. Beyond, it was kind of cute. Yes, I would not use my and him's romance as a good, all should look like this, because it sounds very sweet on paper when you get down to it.
Yeah, I leave the small details out of it when I tell the story.
I don't know if my hubby's there.
Uh-huh. I know. Or you wouldn't have been married to him for the last 7 years.
Won't be 7 until September.
It is September
20.
We're close enough.
Sure. I was trying to get to the date, and then I confused myself.
And isn't it 7 and 13 on the same day?
Yeah, because we made our anniversary the same as our dating anniversary.
Yeah. That's sweet.
Oh, yeah. It was convenient. Anyway.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm. Sailor Moon.
As we've been saying all week, Sailor Moon's going to be a major part of this podcast for the foreseeable future.
As it has been for the past few episodes, and now we're actively watching it together, so yeah. Sailor Moon!
Sailor Moon! So
we suddenly can't talk about anything.
We've gone over your favorite episodes.
What's your least favorite so far?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask.
Least favorite episode.
Not saying that it's shitty, just, out of the group. What's the least favorite?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was the worst episode? I think my least favorite for oh my god what the fuckness, not so much that it's a bad episode that it's not watchable, but just made me go what the hell is this, is the one when they're in Wonderland, that amusement park, and then the princess ends up being a psycho killer doll monster.
The Dreamland one with the dream princess.
I mean the only thing weirder than that is the one with the little girl that makes dolls.
Yeah, I don't think he likes creepy dolls.
And see, I was perfectly fine with those episodes. Because I purposely do not have dolls. And
Except for that clown doll collection you had for a while.
I gave all of those away.
Only recently, but yeah.
Yeah. I was fine with the ceramic-faced clowns. I was perfectly fine with that. I had a problem with the dolls.
The porcelain dolls?
Yes, my mom used to have this whole collection. It covered the whole top part of her dresser. Just giant collection of these porcelain-faced dolls, right? And then my granny had a My Buddy and Kid Sister dolls. Okay? And she gave them to me. And they used to sit in my room. And I swear those things moved at night. And I swear my mother's dolls used to stare at me. And, like, follow me across the room. So I have a problem with dolls. I do not have a problem with creepy-looking clowns or stuffed animals or anything like that. I just have a problem with dolls. But those two episodes, like, I expected the dolls to be creepy. I was all like, oh, look, a doll. Something's going to be bad about it.
Yeah, I don't do dolls. I just don't. I mean, the one episode that seemed kind of off or strange was the one where they all go to visit that castle, and it's full of, like, Halloween-esque monsters.
The beach episode from the first season.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just kind of, it's like a different tone than the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like, they're not monsters, they're humans. Okay.
They're just in goofy get-ups, clearly. They're Scooby-Dooing up this place.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
I'm not sure who's my favorite character so far. They'll have their own little quirks, I think is the word I want.
You really haven't gotten a chance to learn about Venus beyond she does Crescent Beam, and she's there.
I get a distinct feeling that they're going to do something with her story because the way they introduced her was so sudden.
So bam, I'm here.
I really feel like that was a shoehorn, or possibly the fact that they assumed whoever was watching it had already had been following Sailor V. And so it was like, oh yeah, of course, that makes complete sense.
Like the last episode that you guys watched was when she introduced herself.
33, when Zoisite pretends to be Sailor Moon.
I know what the next episode is.
Yeah. But she gets some character development in later episodes. She'll tell you, or she'll tell the audience, and the important episode got cut from the dub, but essentially her backstory of Sailor V.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw that. Mm-hmm. When I got all of my Japanese episodes with subtitles and shit. Way better.
Because I think they just kind of took it and shoved it in a different episode in the dub, and then it's like, yeah, that's all we're telling.
Yeah. Dub is evil.
I'm not like, obviously I've only seen the first episode with her in it, but I'm not sure what to make of her either. She seems really happy, which is interesting.
Oh,
she's kind of like Usagi, where she's just somewhat of a naturally happy person.
But there's more sadness behind her.
Yeah, it's like she's happy on, a daily basis because it's easier.
But we'll let you form your own opinion.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't think I have a favorite character. I think I just like the whole thing as a group. And then, I have a favorite couple. Of course, it's probably the same as everybody else's. But
who's your favorite couple?
I'm pretty sure you could guess.
Usagi and Mamoru?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see the dynamics between Uranus and Neptune. I can't remember their names at the moment.
They're kind of like
I love their little one-off conversations, like when one will say a line and another one will say a line so full of innuendo right after it, and sometimes making the other one blush.
Yeah.
That's really great.
They have this dynamic of showing that they've been a couple for a really long time.
And not like through massive makeouts, but like hand-holding or just general closeness to one another, or the way they speak to one another.
Yeah. So there's not really, like, a lot of drama there, where we're looking at the rest of the couples or the rest of the characters and going, really? That's what you're gonna fight about? They don't really fight with each other.
Well, they're also older than, like, the men.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got together as adults. So it's, like, easier for them to have a mature relationship.
Yeah, they're closer to Mamoru than the rest of the girls. So the rest of the girls are still, teenagers. And sometimes that gets in the way of thinking.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? I would want to show that they're still kids.
Yeah.
That's what I love. Was it? I remember his name. The blonde kid from the arcade. He's like, when Mamoru was talking about the crush that a whole bunch of girls have on him. He's like, oh, you're so silly. They're just kids. They're like little sisters. What person would have a relationship with a 14-year-old girl? And Mamoru was like, yeah, that'd be stupid. I don't know why you would do that. And like rays popping out of his head, like, don't you? I'll kill you. It's like, oh yeah, that'd be silly. Why would you date a 14-year-old girl if you were in college? That's weird.
Because it's legal.
His
in
name
that country.
is
I don't know.
Motoki.
I think the age of consent in Japan is like 13, so it's not impossible.
Age of consent's a bit weird because for certain things it's between certain ages, but for other things it's like whatever.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
It's similar. Like a lot of the states in this country have a similar idea where they say like age of consent is X, but if one person is above Y age, then it's still statutory rape.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Minnesota, I think it's like if you're under 18, like say age of consent is I think like 15, but if you're under 18, you have to be within 4 years of the person you're with in order for sex not to be statutory rape.
We have like a plus or minus 3 years rule here.
Yeah, it works out to be basically anyone under the age of 21 can date anyone over the age of I think 15. Mm-hmm. But it's like. And I actually, on a complete side note, I totally agree with that because I think Kiki's heard me yell it a couple times that, they're just babies. They're only babies, man. They shouldn't be getting into these kind of shenanigans, and she laughs at me.
Like this. You mean, age of consent is very culturally, socially centered. So,
yeah.
So you have to realize different cultures will have different ideas of what's okay and what's not. And remember, Japan may have, like, things we consider weird sexually, but they have harder, illegal sex trafficking laws and porn laws and abuse laws than we do.
And their teenagers are actually, like, more mature than our teenagers.
Well, they giggle over the stupidest things, but yes, I would say they're better.
I hate to tell you to disagree, but teenagers are pretty much universally the same in most first world countries. It's
just a matter of what is socially acceptable knowledge compared to others.
This is the end of part 1. Stay tuned for more Gamatron powered action in part 2. Do you see me, please? I see you. You are now listening to part 2.
I mean, I tend to believe, and this is coming from somebody who's fairly liberal, like, I feel like the act of sex is not something that needs to be liberally applied upon puberty. despite, how much we were all teenagers once and we all wanted to fuck like rabbits, but the reality is it's a pretty powerful thing. And I don't know where I'm going with this, so I'll just drop it.
Yeah, I was talking to Ami yesterday. And she was telling me that apparently there was and might still be a show geared at children, or not children, teenagers. I forget the exact name of the show. Let me see if I can bring it up. Should still be in my history.
It's not like Amish Mafia or anything, right?
No,
Oh, that was a creepy thing to watch a trailer for.
Fucking is Done Like This was the name of the TV show, and it was essentially a sex ed show aimed at teenagers.
Wow.
Because she was, media-wise, they're a lot more liberal about that, especially in their public schools, about sex education, sexuality, gender, stuff like that.
Where is this again?
The Netherlands.
That's the other problem. I feel like we teach kids the wrong things about sex. Like it's like sex isn't wrong. It just needs to be, saved for the right scenarios, right situations. Like there's no need to go, no need to go headlong into it.
Socially, we chastise people for having sex, but media-wise, we chastise people for not having sex at certain ages. Like, oh, you're so weird, even though society, we think they'd be whores or anything like that.
How dare you be over the age of 18 and not sexually active, you weird freak.
And see, I think the main thing is, having gone through all the sex ed classes and everything in my schools, I always felt, and having shared the information that I learned at school with my parents, and them thinking it was equally weird, I always felt that they were teaching way too much abstinence and not enough protection.
That's our country in general.
Yeah, but then you have all these teenage girls that are getting pregnant, getting diseases, and
a lot of older stuff shirts have in the mindset that if we don't give them the knowledge, they won't do it. They don't understand that we're going to do it anyway. We might want to give us the knowledge.
Yeah.
As much as people
still feel that way. And I'm all for teaching that sex is not a necessity, or that you don't have to have it, but at the same time, people need to be given the knowledge, because it's going to be a part of a lot of people's lives at some level, be it intercourse or foreplay or... And
my line always remains is this: if you're gonna do it, make sure you're both using protection, and for the love of God, and if you are using protection, if you're both fertile, for the love of God, make sure it's somebody you want to have a kid with, because no protection is 100% effective, even with both of you doing it.
Yeah, no, the only time in my life that I was actually very happy that my parents were overbearing about something was when I asked a question. They took out a medical book and went over everything. Well, it was mostly my mom, because she thought my dad would make me uncomfortable. But I got, at like 11 or 12 years old, I got the whole story. This is what happens with this is what happens with that, and if you're gonna do this, you need this, and, I just got the whole spew about it, and then I didn't understand why nobody else's parents did the same for them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, when I was 15, my dad came down one day and was talking to me, and he goes, "Son, we have to have the talk." And I'm like, okay. And I mean, but I was a smart kid. I'm a smart person in general, and I had already basically read up a lot about what it all was. And to be fair, I've only actually, done the act probably half dozen times in my entire life. It's not something that I actively go looking for. I haven't had a lot of what you would call relationships that got to that point, but I already knew a lot about it, and so it got to the point where my dad's like, "What do you want to know about?" I'm like, The only thing I'm not clear about is what the hell a Cleveland steamer is. And he just looks at me and goes, what? People keep throwing it out as a joke. I have no idea, and I couldn't find, like, at that time, the internet wasn't like it is now, where you could just, like, punch it in and you'd find, like, Urban Dictionary. This is back, like, you know, when the internet was still, like, getting to that point. And he just looks at me and goes, yeah, you don't need to know. You're better off to not know. Okay. He's like, what do you know about human anatomy? I'm like, basically everything. Because at this point, I think I was a freshman or sophomore in high school, and I was dead set that I was going to be a doctor. So I was already taking, like, physiology and anatomy classes. And the best thing ever is nobody in my high school, none of the health teachers wanted to talk about human anatomy. None of them. And to this day, I'm still ashamed of the fact that I was an adult before I understood the position of the female sex organ, for lack of a better, female vagina. I just assumed women were like guys and it was out front. No.
I don't think it's fair for me to say wow, because I knew all of the anatomy stuff when I was, like, in the 5th grade.
Well, I would say that's what he's talking about is a pretty common issue of not exactly understanding genitalia that you don't have because nobody wants to talk about it.
My parents had medical books.
Yeah, what's really funny is, this is something like I never went looking for, like, you know, and the professors didn't, and the teachers didn't want to talk about it. They talked about stuff like muscles and bones and that kind of thing, but, like, the sex organs they just glossed over. It's there. You really want to learn, you'll figure it out, and that was it. And when I was in college, like the first year I was in college when I was like 18, 19, and I was taking like the college level like anatomy 4 or whatever, anatomy and physiology 4, which is like anatomy and physiology for medical majors. They spent 2 weeks on sexual organs, and I finally understood like what was going on. At this point, I was still a virgin. I had never had sex. I never even looked at a woman, for God's sake. So it never, like, clicked in my head. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I guess everything is basically coming out of the same area of the pelvis. I just don't think about it that way, because for a guy, like, where the entrance is, you know, where the orifice is on a woman, that's where a guy's testes hang out of, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's no nice, clean academic way to say that, but, like, yeah.
I wouldn't say this show really works about being clean.
No, I know. It's one of those, like, I feel, you know, as a 26-year-old, you know, fully educated academic person who, you know, now understands a lot more than I did as a younger man or a young adult, it's hilarious for me to realize all these weird misconceptions I had, like, it's like learning about fertility cycles in women, like when, like, length and time and reasoning behind, like, when women are fertile.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds crazy. Like why is that interesting? But it's really, like, you know, you always hear, like, I remember as a kid, like, even watching anime and stuff, you hear about, you know, the girl says, well, it's my safe day. And I'm like, safe day? What? And then you start reading about it, and you're like, oh. You know, I'm sure for you guys, it's, you know, you're women, so it makes sense, but for a guy who's like, okay. It's this, like, you know, as an 18-year-old boy, I'm like, safe day? I thought if you came in inside, it was never safe. They're like, it's safer on some days than others. And I'm like, really? Well, that's interesting. And I'm going, even if it was a safe day, I'm still wearing a condom. Thank you. Good night.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't use that system as a guarantee. You should always still use protection, unless you're trying to have a kid. Mm-hmm. Or actively not trying.
We are all bad here. I see you all.
I think the best advice I ever got from my dad is like, son, I have only one word of advice for you. This is like when I'm like 15. He's like, if you want to be sexually active, that's your business. I'm not going to tell you no. You're a smart boy. You've got a good head on your shoulders, and I think you'll know. But for the love of God, double wrap that shit. Double wrap it.
You really shouldn't do that.
And to this day, it makes me laugh, but he was just trying to say, he's like, you don't want to knock a girl up, even if she's using protection, and it's for my rationale of, even if you're both using protection, make sure it's somebody you wouldn't mind having a kid with, because nothing's perfect. It can still happen. Unless you or the woman is freaking barren, sterile, whatever, it's still possible.
That's why, gents out there, if you don't want kids, go get snipped.
Yeah.
If you think you might change your mind later, have some of your stuff saved.
Well, the big thing is, if you're in a committed relationship with somebody and you're not sure what's going to happen, have the guy get snipped.
It's much easier for the guy to get snipped. It's a fucking outpatient surgery.
Yeah, and in some cases they can make it in such a way that it's reversible.
Mm-hmm.
They can do it in such a way that if you decide, it still saves some kind of thing. If you're might do it, but it's like, guys, it can be made in the surgery can be done in such a way that it's reversible. I've actually had people I've worked with who have had it done in such a way that, like, they made themselves basically sterile for a year or so, and then, a couple of years later they decided that they wanted kids, and they had it, undone, and proceeded to fuck like rabbits. Both at the, propagation, side and the sex side. Tell your wife it's a vagina, not a clown car.
It might
Sometimes
be
it's a clown car.
occasionally difficult to find a doctor who will snip you if you haven't had kids or have had kids, because it actually took my brother a while to find somebody who will snip him, even though he kept telling him I already have 2 kids.
Oh, but you might want more.
Or, what about the woman you marry? It's like, I never get married, you fucker. Snip me.
Exactly. No, I've never understood that. They're doctors. They don't have a right to try and talk you out of it. Well, it's their job to stop you if it's medically going to hurt you.
Technically, it's an elective surgery, and I get where they're coming from. But, yeah, they shouldn't have been trying to say,
Well, that's because, like,
don't
every hospital on the planet is run by some kind of church.
It's like, what if you feel like you shouldn't be a parent?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know what? I don't think I should be having kids. I have X, degenerative disease in my family, or whatever.
Or, you just don't think you'll be that great at raising a kid, or that you might never be that financially stable. Or maybe you have a career that requires you to travel a lot, and you want to keep that career up.
Or every single person in your life tells you that you shouldn't have them.
It should be your own decision. But yeah, we have a big enough populace to where not every person needs to have a child.
Especially the stupid ones. Stupid people should not have kids.
What slays me is like I constantly get it at work from my family, whatever. It was like, you'd be a great father. You should really consider, having kids in the future. And I'm like, no. Hey, I can barely conceive of being in a relationship with somebody, who's not going to immediately run screaming in the other direction. And on top of that, there don't need to be more of me running around. There don't.
Well, I don't know. You're really smart. We might need a few extra of you to solve,
okay, that's not
cancer or
just
something.
because he has children, that's not no guarantee that they're smart. That's not really a genetic aspect. We could probably say that he might be better at instilling intelligence.
Let me put it this way: nobody needs to be cursed with my horrid genetics. I got one high stat, and the rest are ones. I'm clumsy. I'm not very good looking. I've got all kinds of horrible genetic diseases in my family that I'm pretty sure I've inherited. What else can I add to that pile that nobody needs to inherit from me genetically? Well, the only upside is that I'm smart, and I didn't inherit any of the mental illness that runs in my family, as far as I'm aware.
That means my list is longer than yours.
But, and, you know, even if you don't biologically have children, people can still adopt. Adoption is an arduous process, and there is a reason why a lot of people adopt out of the country. It's easier and it's cheaper.
But there's so many needy kids here in America.
Yeah, but the system is, our infrastructure for everything is really fucky right now, so it can be very difficult to adopt a child. Mm-hmm. It's easy to be a foster parent, but that's not exactly the same as adopting a child. That child might not be in the household in months.
Yeah. I've always... We also need more foster parents, good foster parents. Yeah, because the bad ones keep on seeming to pile up. I swear, if
nobody wants an orphan. Nobody.
Well, people only want to adopt at certain ages, so once you hit a certain age, it's far less likely you'll be adopted, so you'll be stuck in the foster system. Because they know it, the kids in the foster system know it, so it's very belittling to them. That's why. Yeah. And certain, like, the cheapest baby to adopt is an African American male child.
I think the general consensus was that the general consensus was basically anything before 5 years of age, you're still adoptable material, but after that, your chances start going down dramatically with every year or age older.
Because people want babies. There's the stigma of that it won't be my child because they're a person.
Well, at a certain age, you do develop your own personality. You have your own memories.
But that doesn't mean you can't be a part of the family.
Oh, no. Everybody wants something of themselves to carry on. It's like mentally instilled in us from birth that it's just in the back of our heads to have a little us. And it's easier.
It's the most basic genetic propagation. I think. Well, that's what it is. It's the most base role that every person has is to basically propagate their genetic line.
I don't really care about my genetic line. I just want little babies. But I also know that might never happen. I'm just gonna try to live a happy life.
Yeah. Plus, we have plenty of friends having babies.
Babies that I want to steal.
Oh my gosh, every single time somebody has a baby, I'm like, oh, can I hold them? Okay, where's the getaway car? And if I get one more cat, I'm officially going to be sad.
You have 3 cats, you're kind of already sad.
No, 3 is the threshold.
In the arbitrary set of rules you've made up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, by the way, there's chocolate in that bag, I think. Okay, Grieve went to go get chocolate. Just bring in the bag.
You said the magic word.
Chocolate.
What the hell just happened?
Give me a break. Give me a break.
I told Grieve there was chocolate in the bedroom, so she went to go get it.
Oh, I see.
Chocolate.
Because she is a giant stereotype.
I am a giant stereotype.
Anyway.
What, you mean she's a woman and she likes chocolate?
Yep.
I guess that is kind of a stereotype. Shut my mouth.
Well, as soon as I said it, she jumped out of the chair for it.
Well, to be fair, if you told me that there was a bag of rainbow licorice hanging from the ceiling, I'd tear the roof off.
Licorice. Okay, just go easy on it.
I like this chocolate.
You also like to bitch about your weight.
You know what? I don't care anymore. I have a job. I can just buy new clothes.
Every time you say that, next week, you're whining about your weight.
That's everybody, though, Kiki. My parents do that. Like, they bitch because I don't bring pizza home when I, stop for dinner. But then they're like, I'm so fat. I'm like, you ate an entire pizza. Don't bitch at me. You don't get to eat shit with me and then cry, oh, No. Don't bitch at me because I don't bring you home McDonald's or, pizza or tacos. And then when I do, you piss and moan that you're overweight. It's like, no. One or the other. Pick.
chocolate. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying how good chocolate is.
It's yummy! Yeah. As Kiki was saying, I am a giant stereotype.
Well, they do say that stereotypes are based off the truth.
Huh? I like chocolate, red wine,
Girly movies.
kissing scenes. Doesn't even matter who
Oh
they're
man,
between.
she gets so bitchy when there's not a kissing scene, especially if it looks like there's gonna be one and it doesn't happen.
Oh, I hate that they lean into each other and then black screen.
Or
Where is my kiss?
Or the lean turns into a hug, or they just rest their
Oh,
foreheads.
I hate that. Or the guy like kisses her on the forehead or on the cheek. It's like, we all know that you want to kiss her. Just grab her.
Such a cop out.
It is a cop out.
Gentlemen, don't just grab ladies and start kissing them. Especially if they don't know you.
It's fine in movies, TV shows, mangas, animes, but it's not okay in real life unless you've been dating her for a couple of times and it's just time to kiss.
I always hated that because I never knew when that was. The last girl I dated needed me in the nuts because we've been dating for a couple weeks, and I thought, oh yeah, lean in, whack. Oh boy, that hurts.
Okay. Ladies, also try and know first before going to physical violence.
Oh, yeah. No. I always liked the before the first kiss part. You just kind of stand there and you linger and you stare and you bat your eyes. That was always my kiss me, you idiot.
Yeah, men are stupid, and I've learned the hard way that don't try to kiss a girl without announcing you're going to, because getting kicked in the nuts, well, actually in this case, kneed in the nuts, really fucking hurts.
Remember, ladies, or anyone, don't hit someone unless they've given you a legitimate reason to hit them. And normally, if they are trying some sort of aggressive, violent act on them.
It's not like I tried to slip her any tongue. I just went in for the kiss, and I felt the knees between my legs, and I'm like, oh boy, as I roll backwards, holding my berries, going.
She should have tried, hand on your chest. Not right
or
now.
Or even the hand on the face, or just a no, or sidestep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was violent to guys when I was in junior high. I was all like, I just don't really like you, kick. But even if they were trying to kiss me, was like, no, sidestep, I didn't always go directly to violence.
Well, I don't know if still, because I'm not one of them teenagers, especially when we were younger, a lot of ladies had the mindset of, I'm a woman, it's okay to hit other people.
I didn't get raised with that. I got raised with the,
Even
you
though
were a person.
Apparently you were doing that.
Well, no. It's okay to hit a person under certain circumstances. Even I knew that. I was just always really pissed off at guys. Because they were always finding ways to piss me off. But no, if a guy tried to kiss me, I never really went directly towards violence, unless they were trying to do it in a violent manner. And then, of course, if you're going to do it in a violent manner, I'm going to respond violently.
Well, you haven't lived until you haven't even made contact, and you get the power knee and the berries.
I will say getting hit in the crotch as a lady still hurts, but probably not as severely as getting hit with your genitalia actually hanging out.
I wouldn't know.
Well, yeah, our genitalia is on the inside.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even know about
there's
getting
outside
there.
entrance.
Let me put it to you this way: it's still the concept still works on women. It's just that a cunt punt is a much harder thing to perform than getting caught in the nuts, since the nuts are external.
Unless you have like a very sensitive clitoris, most of the pain in a cunt punt comes from your pelvic bone hurting so much.
Well, cause see, I've been kicked but it was like off to the side, so it was still on the pelvic bone, but it wasn't like there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what did hurt: getting punched in the boob.
Well, yes, being punched.
Yeah, that's the
hurt.
Yeah, that's the male equivalent to like getting kicked in the nuts, pretty much.
And they already hurt because they were growing at the time.
Oh, that's a double whammy.
Yeah, they hurt like really bad when they're growing. And it's like, we're already, like, trying to make sure that we don't bump into anybody, that, like, you know, even we don't brush up against ourselves too hard, and then somebody walks up to you and punches you in the boob. Really? I'm glad I broke her nose.
I say, legitimately, for a guy, that's an excuse to get him in the nuts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it was a girl. And it was in junior high, and she was just pissed off at me because apparently I stole her boyfriend. I don't remember stealing her boyfriend. I remember her boyfriend coming to me, but I don't remember stealing him. But apparently that awarded me a punch in the boob. And I'm perfectly fine with saying that I broke her nose. So, I knocked out a couple of her teeth.
Yes, never be the first to attack, but be sure to retaliate.
Retaliation is fine as long as your retaliation is somewhere in the same area as what they did to you.
Oh no, that's a fucking arbitrary rule to me.
I mean, obviously, somebody cuts in line in front of you, you blow their car up. It's the only way to be fair.
No, but, you know.
I never tried to go too far with the retaliation. Like, I wasn't gonna put a girl in the hospital for punching me in the boob.
You know, I always made sure ladies who thought that pulling my hair was the start and end of a fight knew that it was not the fucking end.
Yeah, no, you started a fight with me, I usually ended it. The only time I didn't was when somebody ripped my earring out of, I had one of those ear piercings at the top of my ear.
Mm.
And somebody ripped it out. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm done, because I'm going to the nurse's office now, because I'm bleeding. And it was usually, I'm done when I start bleeding. I don't care if you're bleeding, but I'm done when I start bleeding. That was a very nice lesson that my mother taught me. You know, never ever start a fight, but make damn sure that you end it.
I say either end it or make sure that you can escape it, because sometimes fights are because you're defending yourself against someone who has a very different mindset of you, and the point of your battle is more to get away from them than to show them that you're not going to put up with this shit.
Yeah. I tried to go in, like, the middle of my mom's advice and my dad's advice. My dad's advice was walk away. Any situation, any point in time, walk away. And so I kind of tried to do the middle. Because, for one, I'm not going to walk away because I'm not going to give him a shot at my back. And I'm not going to go all full out, like, put a girl in the hospital type of thing like my mom was talking about. I'm just going to go in the middle and just make sure she doesn't, you know, get off the ground. They usually
I just always do what my dad always told me. If you get in a fight and the guy isn't paying attention, one punch to the throat is always enough.
Oh, ow.
I always tell people that, screw the face, go for the throat.
No, it's always the throat. You can actually, after a couple years of anatomy, one of the biggest things I learned that most people aren't prepared for, your artery, your major artery and vein, there's one on each side, right? Grab for the left side where the major artery comes up through your neck. Most people, it's easily grabbable. Grab, squeeze, twist, collapse the artery. If it doesn't kill them, they're out for the next 10 minutes.
Normally I go for a jab there.
Yes, but they might stop the jab. Trying to stop you from squeezing your artery off is a much harder proposition.
I've never had someone actually properly stop a jab.
Hmm.
But I think that's more because people don't realize that it's going to go through for their neck in the first place. Because people still have the mindset of hit them in the face. The face is a fucking hard thing.
Yeah.
It'll hurt your hand.
It's really hard, especially if they're, like, paying attention and you go to punch and they block.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I learned that girls don't pay attention to is, like, their chest. They don't pay attention to their chest. They don't really pay attention to their stomach. And, you know, if you give them a good jab in the stomach, they usually get the wind knocked out of them because, you know, girls, I know it's a giant stereotype, but I have watched enough girl fights and been involved in enough girl fights to know that it is,
mostly hair pulling.
Yeah, it's a stereotype that's been well earned. You know, they pull hair, they scratch, they bite, they scream, they slap at each other. Gesundheit.
To be fair, Not that
You can also do my personal favorite.
Piece, but
If they're not guarding their chest, give them a quick palm strike to the sternum. Even if it doesn't break anything, that's going to hurt like a son of a bitch.
your point should never be to, like, hospitalize them. Like,
Oh, no.
The point is to either incapacitate or kill the opponent if you're forced to fight. What? I'm dead serious. If you have to fight, first goal is to incapacitate. If that's impossible, you do what you have to do. I'm not saying I endorse killing people, but if you're forced to fight and you're not the aggressor, you do what you have to do and worry about the consequences later.
Mm-hmm. Just like, that guy's coming at you with a knife, and you know what you do, he keeps coming, and that knife should go somewhere in the guy.
Yeah. I kind of want my pepper spray back now.
It's terrible, and I would feel terrible after the fact, but I will kill you if it's a matter of my own life.
Oh, yeah.
But if it's not a matter of my life and more of a matter of my well-being, maybe not these days because I can barely stand fucking upright, but...
I know perfectly well if there's a zombie horde coming after us, you will push me in front of them to give you more time to find shelter.
Oh no, in reality, I'd probably just kill myself. I can't run. I need far too much different kinds of medication to live.
Yeah,
so...
That's why you get a scooter.
Yeah, because electricity is going to be a readily available thing.
No, gas scooter.
Yeah, gas is going to be a bit difficult too. With everybody else trying to get it? No. In the initial, if it's a mass wave, if it's a couple of zombies here and there, then I doubt we really have to worry that the military will take over very easily. Mm. But if it's like a sudden mass fucking wave, and there's going to be a mountain of time before any real action can be taken beyond bombing the fuck out of us, probably just gonna kill myself.
Murder-suicide pact?
Sure, I'll shoot you.
We just shoot each other at the same time. Just 1, 2, 3.
And then there's one of us who's on the floor screaming her head off because the other person doesn't know how to shoot.
Who says I don't know how to shoot?
That's okay. I'd let you start counting and shoot you before you finished.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And hopefully my body jerks and pulls the trigger and I get you.
Yeah, I'll just do it myself. Anyway.
Anywho.
Yes.
Just remember, when in doubt, put the gun in your mouth and aim for the stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get the break.
Yeah.
But, anyway, yes, fighting is bad, but defense is important, blah, 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 blah. Face
blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
Don't break your hand on a person's face. It hurts.
Also, don't aim for the mouth. Teeth are terrible.
Oh, yeah, I saw this girl one time. She needed stitches in her hand because she punched another girl in the mouth. Mm-hmm. And that girl's teeth, like, one of them actually got stuck in her fist.
So if you have to go for the head, go for the throat, the side of the face, or the back of the head.
Yeah.
I learned that after I gave that girl a broken nose.
Well,
I mean, if you're going for the nose, do a palm strike upward. Don't strike forward into their face.
Yeah, now I know that, but I'm talking about when I was 13.
I didn't get very far in Taekwondo because of that's when my joints started to crap out. But I got through the, self-defense sort of thing. So,
I know I got through it, I just can't remember it.
I remember, hit here, hit there. I can't do the tossing with people anymore because that requires too much pivoting of your own self, and I can't do that. But
I remember what SING stands for. Solar plex, instep, nose, groin.
Yes. That only counts on dudes, but...
Remember to sing! I don't know, I think it would kind of work on a girl. You elbow her in the gut, you step on her foot, you hit her nose. And the only thing that's not really going to work is the groin, so
let's go for the boob. But yeah, ability to breathe, ability to stand. Take those out.
Yay! We're learning how to take care of ourselves.
Because then you can walk away from the fight.
Yep.
If you cannot take those out, take them out.
Uh-huh. Yay!
Anyway, let's move on to a more chipper subject.
me and my guy were watching a really cute anime.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Brothers Complex.
Oh, God.
Have you heard of it?
I have. I've watched the trailer for it from Funimation.
It's cute. I like it. I especially like, and he thinks this is hilarious. My favorite part of every episode is the end.
Hit my funny bone.
There's nothing funny about hitting your funny bone.
It's very humorous. Don't tell away the fun.
Oh, I'm gonna tell him. But no, for the ending theme, each one of the male characters is dancing like they're a boy band. And I like the song, and I like the, dance moves. It's, my favorite part of every episode, which is really sad.
Woo woo.
Woo woo. I feel like I, killed the mood or something.
I don't know what to tell you. You killed the mood. You killed it dead.
Rainbows and lollipops.
I have no idea. None.
Kiki's giving me a death stare.
Oh, she gives everyone the death stare.
I don't give my mom the death stare.
She gave it to me once. I turned into a great lich.
It's okay, I made you alright.
Would you like some more tea? Coffee? Sandwiches? Toast? Another helping of the super happy first Gamma Frosty party? You are in luck. Stay tuned for part 3. Look at me. Breathe. Welcome to part 3.
So when Kiki dies, she turns into a zombie. But because I'm a learned mage, I just turn into a lich.
You're all weird.
Yeah. So what?
So what?
So what? Chicken butt.
Happy, joy, happy, joy.
No.
Yes.
You have to sing that with me.
Okay, let's go back to talking about Sailor.
What else is there to say? It's only the greatest thing in the entire universe.
Well, you were very excited when Jupiter did her first attack.
What now?
When the antenna came out of her tiara.
Oh my god, that made me laugh so hard. I didn't remember how she did her electric attack, and then I see the antenna come out of her head, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be shitting me. The thunder attack! I'm like, did she just collect lightning and then shoot it?
Yep.
What the fuck? and then you have Venus's double crescent beam.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I don't even understand that one. I'm hoping they explain that at some point, because I get everybody else's, but Venus just has double crescent beam.
Does Venus have 2 moons?
When she sticks her finger up, what shows up is 2 crescents put on their side shoved together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the point?
Oh, Venus has no moons.
As a planet, no, but as I was telling him while we were watching this is more on Western and Eastern mythology, and almost nothing to do with science of the planets.
Yeah.
But no, her power is love and light.
Oh, so she's heart.
Yeah.
What kind of power is heart anyway?
I always thought of Usagi more as heart.
Usagi is hope and love.
So we have water, ice, we have fire, we have lightning, we have hope, and we have basically love, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, ice, fire, lightning, light, hope.
Somebody has to be Earth.
Well, yeah,
Mamoru is, he has the rose.
Well, Mamoru is basically Sailor Earth, lack of a better word.
And then, we have regular water, which is Neptune, and then, wind, which is Uranus.
Time for Pluto.
Yeah, even though her actual attack has like this shit to do with time.
Oh, yeah.
And then, Saturn is death. But she also has a defensive attack. Yeah. Silent Wall.
Oh, yeah.
Well, doesn't she represents like the life cycle, basically.
Yeah.
It's not just death, but it's like death and rebirth.
Mm-hmm. But really, based on the name of her attack, she's about silence. And Pluto is about death. Because her attacks is dead scream.
Yeah. But dead screams are silent.
I don't know, it's a pretty noisy attack. But timed, it makes fools of us all, so. And then.
I can't wait to get Sailor Moon S. This ought to be absolutely hilarious.
Oh, it's gonna be so cute, because Chibiusa will have her own little fuku and her own little adorable attack.
I hate that. Because it doesn't do anything.
But it's because she's a kid and she's still figuring out her problem. Her
Then
powers.
she shouldn't be allowed to have them.
No, she's a scout in training. That's the whole reason she comes back again, is to train.
Training implies that you have something to train with.
Yeah, she has her tiny little rod, and she has her own prism locket.
But the only thing that has any power is prism.
At least it's not as bad in Super S, when apparently she just turned into basically a way to power up Sailor Moon even farther.
Well, yeah, because A, they have to transform together, and B, she has to do her move first, so that she will call down Helios, who then gives Sailor Moon the rod to do the fucking attack, because their Super S powers are totally based on his, because it's a gift.
It is the most ridiculous thing on the face of the planet. Because, for one thing, it means that Chibiusa cannot protect herself.
Well,
the whole point of Chibiusa is basically a larva. You know, she needs the protection of the adults of the species.
But she also needs to do something, or else she's not really learning anything.
Yeah, but then Sailor Moon also cannot fight without food.
Technically, she can still do Moon Tiara action, as long as she has Heat Tiara. She's in the show almost never does, because it would require new animation, because with every new transformation upgrade, her fuku changes slightly. That's why she only does stuff like that in movies, because they have different budgets.
I just like the design where she's got wings. I'm like, oh yeah, because every magical girl has to get wings eventually.
Her eternal form?
Apparently there's a form, I guess in the manga there's a form before Eternal that has the, or maybe it is Eternal that has the wings. There's the end form where she's not quite Neo Queen Serenity, but she's not Sailor Moon anymore. Because there's four different versions of her in the anime. And there's like another one that was in the manga that they never covered.
Cosmos?
Must be. I don't know. I know absolutely nothing about the show other than what I've seen so far. So
Cosmos is after Eternal. Sailor Cosmos is like
I'm wondering if it's
debated and hard to understand.
I'm wondering if it's the form where like they all have like all the Sailor Scouts have basically matching like the same, like I guess they technically all still have the matching uniform, but like literally like their boots are all the same, like all their stuff is the same except that it's color coordinated to like whatever planet they are.
Yeah, it's they all get an eternal form.
Oh, that's their eternal form?
Yeah, they all hit eternal. It's just Usagi always has the wings, whereas they only occasionally have wings in that form.
So that's the one with the wings on the back.
Yeah.
Welcome to Confusing Land.
Yeah. Well, it's like in Cardcaptor Sakura, where like the wing card starts as something that causes the wings to come out of the rod, and then randomly in the second season, she supposedly gets quote unquote powerful enough that they manifest as actual like angelic wings on her back.
But she can also still put them on the rod.
Yeah. Like, the rod is, like, the immature version of the power. Like, when she becomes powerful enough, all these cards have different looks. because she can fully manifest them. So the wing card, instead of just being like wings on the thing and her flying like a broom, it's, wings come out of her back and she can fly.
What it is that after she had all of the cards captured, because first they're just Clow cards.
Yeah.
And so she can only use them the way that Clow Reed wanted them used.
Yeah.
And then, after she has all of them collected, she turns them into Sakura cards.
Yeah.
Which means now they're her cards and she can use them the way that she wants to. Which is why some of the powers change.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I know way too much about Card Capture Sakura.
It's a great show.
There's no such thing as cute.
I purposely watched the movies.
I know, I remember.
I love the movies.
Dude, the movies are so corny in English. I love it. Dude, the Corey Feldman sound-alike for Kirospiros is the funniest fucking thing in the universe. Yo, Sakura! What up? What going down? I'm like, this dude is trying way too hard. And then Sakura sounds like a 35-year-old woman, probably because that's who's playing her. But like, the woman doesn't even try to sound like a little girl. Like, she just sounds like a young woman, which I guess is fair. But it's a 10-year-old girl, so it just kind of never really works.
Yeah.
Like, any of the ladies that played the Tachikomas would have worked better, if they at least sound like girls.
Yeah.
They can.
Reeves is going to go get more ice.
Well, that's nice.
Because she's not done with her booze.
Booze! It's magical! Magical booze!
But, Anime Usagi has...
There's what? There's regular Sailor Moon. There's, does she get a power-up in R? She must.
Yeah, that's when she changes to crystal power.
Yeah. So her uniform changes a little bit. And then she changes again in Sailor Moon S. And then one more time...
Technically, she changes twice in S.
Wow. Okay, so there's two changes in S.
There's two different Super Sailor Moons, but I think, at least in the anime version, they're drawn almost identical. Like, I think what we would consider the normal version just has slightly shorter ribbons than the Chalice version. I don't remember.
I think her ribbons get longer.
Well, no, they do in the Super form, but there's two Super forms.
And then in Super S, she gets the wings everywhere.
No, that's stars.
Oh, okay.
There's Moon Prism Power, Moon Crystal Power, Moon Cosmic Powers, Crises, Moon Crises, and then Moon Eternal. Yeah.
Wow. That's way too many forms of that. I'm gonna look at the picture.
But I don't remember if there's any, difference between, at least in appearance, of Chalice Super Sailor Moon or Helios Super Sailor Moon. All I can remember is, maybe one version has slightly longer ribbons than the other.
I think there's just, tiny, tiny little differences like that. And then there's mainly the transformations.
Well, yeah, because she's using different objects to transform. Chrome just crashed. Thank you, Chrome.
Chrome's always crashing. Okay. So she uses the Moon Prism power, then she uses Moon Crystal power, then she uses Moon Cosmic power, and then apparently there's Crisis Makeup, Moon Crisis Makeup, and then Moon Eternal Makeup.
You noticed after Cosmic power, she just drops the power from everything.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh, so she's got butterfly wings with Crisis Makeup.
Only in the transformation sequence.
Mm.
They go away as when she's out. But yeah, the butterfly motif is there for Super, and then, which is weird.
The Moon Crisis, it must be for Super S?
Yeah. That's the transformation she does with Chibiusa.
I always like the transformation with butterfly wings.
God, that's crazy. And
then,
the wings and stars.
Mm-hmm. Although, to be fair, in Moon Crystal Power, during the transformation sequence, they have a very winged angel motif going on there, too.
Yeah.
And then in Cosmic, they have the big heart motif. There's the Cosmic Heart locket. And it broke.
I like how her like brooch gets more and more ornate with time.
Mm-hmm.
That just kind of makes me laugh a little bit.
I think it's mostly because of girls like me that are like, I want all of them. Hey, let's make more.
I don't know. I think out of all the brooches, I mean, they're all nice in their own way. I think I like the Cosmic one the best. The heart with a little crown on top.
Sailor Quartet.
Yeah,
What?
Sailor. What the fuck are their names? Juno. The bitches from the Dark Moon Circus. Yeah.
Vesta, Peleles, Ceres, and Juno.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
They don't really discuss that in the anime though.
Crazy.
What? Yes, there are Rolos. And then in the anime at least, the Inner Scouts have 3 different transformations, but only the third one changes the Fuku at all. And then, Saturn never has a actual transformation sequence, but she has a basic Fuku and a super Fuku as well, and so do the Outer Scouts, who technically only get 1 animated transformation sequence, but have 2 different Fukus.
Yeah, she apparently has a super version, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, they all get super versions.
I think that's the one I've been seeing people cosplaying more and more as the super version.
Her, Saturn's outfit, out of all of them, changes greatly because her basic Fuku is so much different than everybody else's, but when she goes super, it becomes more along the same lines of everybody else's.
Yeah, Chibi-Usa.
Mm-hmm. And she has 2 transformations. She has her own moon prism power.
Wait, does that mean that Usagi named her daughter after herself?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
She's little Usagi.
I never caught on to that.
Yeah.
I was always like, but what kind of name is Chibi-Usa? Man, I'd beat my parents if I was her.
No, that's her nickname. Well, technically, from a moon mother perspective, Serenity named her daughter Serenity as well.
Yeah.
Just like technically Chibiusa is also a Serenity.
Yeah.
But the titles that go in front of that change with every generation.
Yeah.
So while you all have the same name, you all have your own distinct titles.
Mm-hmm. So technically, Chibiusa's name is Usagi Chiba.
No, it's Tsukino.
Hmm?
She has Usagi's last name.
Why would she have Usagi's last name?
Because they don't have royal last names, and the only birth family she had is Usagi's.
I think she should have her father's last name. Whatever. It would be cuter.
Wouldn't her name just be Chiba? Because that's assuming they're doing, American standards, and Usagi took Mamoru's last name.
Sure. But no, the only time you hear her last name, it's Tsukino. It's,
I guess technically she's just princess.
Mm-hmm. She is,
Small lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming when they would translate to English, would just be little lady.
She's Princess Small Lady Serenity. And when she gets older, she's just Princess Lady Serenity.
That I find hilarious. I would think they would just call her either Princess Serenity or Princess Usagi.
They all get their own different titles.
Crazy people.
But yeah, she's, Usagi, Small Lady, Serenity, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Daughter of, Neo Queen Serenity and King Inido. Yeah, apparently
Yeah, Crystal Tokyo,
their name
her
is
literal name is Usagi Small Lady Serenity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they have different naming systems, so.
That I find hilarious. So literally her middle name is Chibiusa.
No, Chibiusa still. Yeah, but yeah. Everybody calls her Chibiusa, so.
So her nickname is Little Rabbit.
Mm-hmm. She's a little rabbit. She's a little pink rabbit.
Yeah, I always like that one. It's like, so Darian's got dark black, jet black hair, and Usagi's got pretty much blonde hair. And somehow she ends up with pink. So somewhere in the family line, there was somebody with some pretty freaky hair.
From a design standpoint, it's because originally she tried to have Usagi be more like the traditional pink bunny rabbit, but she didn't like the way it looked.
Yeah.
So that's more harking back to that. She wanted essentially a second go. And she made it work.
In Parallel Sailor Moon, she had a younger sister named Usagi, who was also a Senshi. What?
Yeah, Parallel Moon is weird.
I think the whole thing is funky.
I think it's I get the whole joke with, or not the whole joke, but the whole deal with, like, they say, it was a big deal for them to procreate, but it's like, you would imagine that with the way they were, quote, in love, unquote, that, they would have reproduced a couple times over 1,000 years.
Maybe Usagi became barren after she had Chibiusa. We don't exactly know how Queen Serenity went about having her, so I mean, it's never described. She has no, ever spoken of father. Current, high-standing headcanon is that she's not so much her daughter as much as more a literal clone. Like, Queen Serenity went, I want a daughter. Oh, yeah, I have this crystal thingy. Pop, okay, I have a daughter. Because she looks almost identical to her.
Yeah, she just looks like a younger version. I mean, they have the same hairstyle. What's not to say that her mom's hair just went silver?
Well, in the manga, Princess Serenity had silver hair too, so.
Okay. But going off of the anime, they have the same hairstyle. What's not to say that her mom was just old enough for her hair to go silver. And, yeah, pretty much they look like clones of each other. Just, It's really crazy, actually. I look that much like my mom. Ugh.
But that's just headcanon. I don't think we have any official how she came about. It's not really necessary for the story.
Yeah, it's just curiosity for the rest of us.
Queen Serenity is really only an aside of they had a past life, and that was her mother then, and that was who the current ruler at the time
Once the story was told, we never see her again. I'm here to help. I'm useless now. I disappeared.
God.
After the first couple of trips that they make, she's pretty much just irrelevant.
Well, after R, they don't even talk about her anymore. Yeah.
Nobody's relevant. Nobody.
Well, for a while there, when we were watching episodes, I kept saying, and we'll never see them again.
After a certain point, you don't really see her friend a lot, either.
No, you're gonna start seeing her less and less and less. But, that's what happens when you add more characters. Characters who are supposed to have this great friendship with the main characters. You're gonna see more of them.
Yeah. But then you have this girl that they've been friends for, forever. Don't you think she would just, kind of just keep on adding and not take so much away? But she just starts to disappear.
You can only have so much screen time for so many people, and she becomes kind of irrelevant to the story. And plus, Naru has Umino now. She's busy.
Making little blind, weird babies. Which is actually one of the reasons why I love fan fiction.
Okay.
I got to read a story one time where apparently Usagi dies. And it's right before, what's her friend?
Naru.
And
Umino.
It's right before the two of them get married. And they get married, and then she has a kid, and apparently her kid, acts a lot like Usagi. And essentially, like, at the end of the story, you find out that her best friend gives birth to her reincarnation and just grows up to be another one. And she just pretty much gets to be Sailor Moon again. And then her Naru finally finds out what was going on with Usagi all those years, because now it's going on with her own daughter.
Great.
That was a great fanfic. I really got into it. It was written really well. Sounds like a really crappy storyline, but I don't know. Had some upbeat parts. At least Momura was closer to her age. They like went to school together.
You care too greatly of age. You care too greatly of age.
It's not that I care. It's just that it was something that always kind of bothered me. You know, college kid with a junior high student. It's a little creepy.
The worst they do is kiss. Oh no.
You don't know that.
The worst they do on screen is kiss.
I love the random trivia from the Sailor Moon wiki.
Yeah.
Did you know that Rei once claimed that she had never farted once in her entire life?
What?
I'm not joking. I'm guessing it's in the manga.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's just weird.
You know, she's a Miko, so she's got to keep her pure appearance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's actually really brash and whatnot.
Oh man, I wish they would have kept her together with that guy.
It's not like they ever officially get together.
I know, but it was just so sweet, and I don't think it's fair that Usagi gets to spend all of these seasons having a guy being in love when her 4 best friends have no one.
They have more than they do in the manga.
Amy gets like one guy, and then like something happens to him, and then from then on it was like long distance relationship, and then he just kind of becomes unnecessary, and they never talk about him again.
Because
See,
these scats
that's just
Senshi are side characters.
It's just not.
I feel like that's just kind of like an oversight. I mean, I understand the concept that, you know, she's not gonna write a lot about the supporting characters' relationships, but it wouldn't have been hard. Like when they did something where, you know, one of them had a what's what I'm looking for, an interaction with a male love interest that they couldn't have just, you know, kind of had it as an aside that, you know, like we watched the episode with the kid that turns into the big giant monster with the like Swiss Army knife hands, like like him and Amy, and then Ray and the guy that comes to be the assistant at the shrine, and I don't know, Jupiter, an older man who reminds her of her ex-boyfriend.
Oh no, like randomly at the start of R, we will hear about this guy who's been apparently her best friend forever, but she's not spoken of him until then.
They haven't spoken to each other in a while. She explains that in the episode. Something happened, they haven't spoken to each other,
and then we'll never see him again.
And in the American version, there's this really pretty song. I love that song.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Most of my problem with the American songs is the horrible key they're sung in.
I don't have a problem.
Because you're tone deaf.
I'm not tone deaf.
Years have shown me otherwise. But yeah, lots of the characters aren't going to have any, like, other than maybe occasionally somebody who's spoken of any actual romantic plots. That's how, you know, what happens when you have a big cast. You can only put so much on screen. And, well, the main character is Usagi. So her romantic relationship, as its core to most of the plot, is going to be talked about a lot.
Yeah. Yes, they're my favorite couple. I just think it's sad that the other girls don't really get a chance. I understand that Usagi's the main character. I understand that the anime and the manga and the entire franchise is named Sailor Moon, not Sailor Scouts or something. I understand all of that. I just think it would be nice to see a side character be as happy as the main character.
Well, at least in the anime, you see them be happy quite a lot. Just hanging out, having, that whole friendship thing. Then when she becomes Queen Serenity, they're going to be so fucking busy anyway to have a love life.
And see, that's not fair either. She pushes all this stuff under her friends, but in the meantime, she gets to get married, have a child.
Have one child. She's still ruling a queen with lots of duties and whatnot. With a whole solar
But she
system
still
to protect.
manages to have that, but they can't have that.
Well, like I said, we don't know if Chibiusa came before the short amount of time she became Neo Queen Serenity or after, because her age kind of new. And she doesn't have, other than the month and day, she doesn't have, a year for her birthday, because,
He fell asleep.
I think he just yawned. Why are you staring at the screen like you can see him? The camera's not on.
I don't know, because there's a picture of him.
With its eyes wide open.
Okay, now we know you're just doing that on purpose.
I was letting you two go at it.
What do you mean, go at it?
We were talking.
I haven't been paying attention for the last 10-15 minutes. I've been reading through the Sailor Moon wiki.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
I actually haven't run into any spoilers so far because I've been very careful not to go beyond the spoiler points.
But, it's been a lot of great fun watching the show with you. Because A, I get to watch it again, because I love the show. And B, with someone who hasn't seen it before, so. It's great when he goes, what? Or, oh. Or, that's ridiculous.
Episode 67 was not released.
Yes.
Oh, yes, it is. It's the second season beach episode. I don't understand that. Why would they take that one out, but not the one from the first season?
I don't know. It seems very arbitrary.
They did a lot of arbitrary things.
Well, no, this was the release of the...
The reason why it was left out was ADV received their masters from Deke, who apparently lacked that episode themselves.
Those assholes. That's okay. I'll make sure we watch it.
We'll catch it somehow.
Go, Kiki, go.
But I love these
Kiki, go.
swimsuits.
Have you ever seen those creepy dolls that look like they're alive, but they're not alive?
What, live dolls?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are creepy.
You're talking about the sex dolls?
No.
Woman, I don't know what you're talking about.
Dirty-minded person.
Are you talking about,
No, there's this art where this guy makes these dolls, and if you're not, looking for, the break in the wrist so that it can bend, or, the shadow under the neck because it bobbles or something, it's an art. I have some pictures on my computer, but they look seriously creepy if you don't know what they are. But then you oh, it's a doll. Oh, that's pretty.
Well, we'll have to keep it in mind.
I wish I could remember who made them, because then we could look it up or something. Can't remember.
Well then, blah 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 boo.
Bibbidi boppity boo. Oh, sleepy time.
What time?
I hit her with my magic wand and she went to sleep.
Oh, good job, I guess.
That's when I draw penises on the fish.
No! I have to go to work tomorrow.
I'm going to the microbrew festival.
I hate you.
I don't like beer,
so
so
many different levels. Yes, but I like beer.
well, it's your fault for being scheduled to work exactly when it's happening.
Beer, 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 beer. Yeah.
Indeed.
Indeedly do.
Indubitably.
I am, however, going to make sure that I am not working for Oktoberfest.
Yay!
This is the end of part 3. Stay tuned for more fun in part 4. I am here. Right here. Always here. Next to you. While you sleep, breathe. I see you. Do you feel me? This is part 4.
Why? What are you doing for Oktoberfest?
I don't know, I just know that, we have a brewery in town and they mentioned something about having a special or whatever for Oktoberfest. And then there's always a thing that happens at the museum. I can't remember what else because I don't think I've ever been involved in an Oktoberfest. It's always going on while I'm working.
I don't normally bother with it, so I don't know. You are asking the wrong person.
I know. That's because you drink brandy.
And other non-beer things.
You just don't drink beer.
I don't like most beer, so I don't drink it.
Nobody likes beer. I'm like the only person that likes beer.
Chance likes beer.
This has all been very silly.
Silly is fun.
I would say anime is very silly.
That's the best part.
I'm wondering if I should collect the English versions of Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura.
Why?
The only thing that is, in my opinion, which Kiki is going to disagree with me, the only reason to have the English version of Sailor Moon is for the songs, which I already have the soundtracks for. They're done really well. There's a few songs that, I think there's a couple of songs that don't even make it into the show, but they're on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's called
We did that
Luna
with
Rock.
Pokemon as well.
Yeah, it's called Luna Rock,
Yeah.
and, I believe it's a 2-disc. Yeah, it's a 2-disc because I have both of them. And it includes the sound bites for the transformations, a bunch of songs from the English version, a bunch of songs from the Japanese version. It's been too long since I've gone through it. Because they were on my old iPod, and then my iPod died, and then I just never redid my new iPod. I can't think of a reason to have the Cardcaptor Sakura in English, though. I don't remember any of the songs being all that memorable, or if there really were any.
I don't know. I remember what little I saw of it. Like, oh my god, there's barely an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cut the shit out of it.
I like it in Japanese, though, because you can actually tell that the brother and the friend are seeing each other.
Well, that, and there's, an episode.
Yeah! They had to cut so much stuff out because the brother is obviously with the friend. And apparently all Americans are homophobes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's unnatural. I mean, come on.
Most people who are not, part of the heteronormatives still can't get married or have a lot of the same basic rights. We're better at it now, but we're still not,
We're making progress, actually fast progress, compared to where we were 10 years ago.
Equality for all.
Yeah.
It's becoming harder and harder. Even the Baptist ministers down south are saying that, the Christian majority is slowly dying out. That we're reaching the point of, post-Bible Belt where, Christians are becoming a smaller and smaller, vocal part of government.
Good. Religion should not be a part of our government.
As we are
It's
have a
actually,
church and
yeah.
state.
That's actually against the Constitution.
It's in the Pledge of Allegiance, but that I don't think that we should change because it's just a part of our history. It's on our money.
The Pledge of Allegiance originally lacked the words "under God." Those were added in the 1950s as a poke at the communists who were atheists.
Yeah.
So it's a part of our history.
Meaning that it's something we can change, as we've changed it before.
Okay.
Yeah, we added it in, we can take it back out.
Just like
I don't really care either
just
way.
like having God on our money was something we added later.
Fine, then change the money back too. Then everybody will shut the hell up.
No, people who will get bitchy, that's not fair anymore.
What is wrong? What is wrong with our original model, E pluribus unum? From many comes one.
You know what? I would prefer that, but I forgot who changed it. And
some religious freak. Because that's pretty much how I judge it all. You can't think for yourself. You can't go through life depending on yourself. You're a freak. But that's my own personal opinion. I grew up being one of those freaks, and then I got a brain when I turned 14. And went, hey, this doesn't make any sense.
I just never understood what was wrong with going back to E pluribus unum. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, this one's got historical significance now. So does E pluribus unum! From many comes one!
Yeah, that actually sounds more intelligent than what's on there now.
Well, our money's kind of really shitty with its small variety of color compared to the rest of the world.
Oh, you know how they kept on changing everything to make it, like, less, able to be counterfeited? Oh, yeah, that's why somebody handed me a counterfeited, brand new $100 bill.
How'd you know it was counterfeited?
Because I've been trained. And I took one look at it and went, where did you get that from? And they said the bank, and I laughed at them. It wasn't very nice, but there's no way that anybody who works at a bank would be dumb enough to give away that bill. I mean, I realized that to an untrained eye, if all you did was glance at it, then you wouldn't know. But actually,
when I was working retail, we just had the fucking markers. The markers were about 99% effective.
Yeah, they try to get rid of that 1% by actually training people. But I didn't get trained by my job. I got trained by an older job that I had several years ago, and I can tell you whether a bill is fake or not.
I think we all can. I spent half a decade in retail.
Yeah, but there's still people who are stupid.
Oh, yeah, because they don't know what they're supposed to be looking for. It's not high on the priorities for companies like Walmart and Target.
Yeah, apparently one of the cashiers actually took a counterfeited $100 bill. And it happened to be at a register that from the opening of the day to the close of the day, 4 people had been on. So the manager calls over, like, all 4 of us, one at a time, takes out the bill, and then says, did you take this?
Well, how obviously counterfeited was it? Are we saying, like, is it, like, obviously counterfeit? Like, even an idiot would be able to, like, if you took one good look at it, would go, oh, yeah, that's not a real dollar.
If they would have actually looked at it like they were supposed to look at it, then they would have known that it was counterfeited.
I don't even understand why your manager's making a big deal of it. That's the entire reason why you have bank insurance for big companies like, Walmart.
She wanted to know who it was.
Yeah, but I'm saying it doesn't matter. For a company the size of Walmart, if our company gets bad money, the bank insures it.
Yeah, but the point is that they don't, even with that insurance, they still technically lost that money for a short period of time.
Yes, but it's not lost money. If you're talking to a guy who runs a company, you don't lose the money. It's simply reinstated with real money.
Yes, but the point is that she was looking for where more training needed to be done and who needed it. And out of the 4 of us, I was the only cashier that the second that she took it out of the drawer, I went, that's fake. What did you want?
Well, from what I understand, they're not actually training you on the latest or the still considered viable as currency for the
Yeah,
older
because I
bills.
found out how stupid they are, and they just assume that people know what a real bill looks like.
Well, get ready because the new bills are coming out in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome!
Have you seen them? They have blue stripes and gold bells on them.
You have to be shitting me.
You have
No, the security stripe is a blue stripe. What is it? It changes colors. I want to say where you know the stripe that's inside the bill. Like when you hold it up to the light, you can see the denomination that was originally made.
Yeah.
That now appears on the outside of the bill, and it, I believe, changes from green to black and back.
Okay.
Ben Franklin is colored. There's a gold bell that has, when you hold it up in the right direction, normally it's opaque, but if you hold it up in the right direction, you see the denomination inside.
Okay. That should be fun.
Oh yeah. I'm just warning you because I saw the picture of it and I'm like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, yeah, that's not a real bill when they first come out.
Oh, believe me, if they don't hand out something or actually try to explain them to us, I will bring it up. And I know exactly whose office to walk into at exactly what time. I don't care if people call me a rat or a snitch or anything like that. I really don't care. I want to know what I'm dealing with.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that it'll come up with, I think they're coming out in January. I think it's New Year.
Fun.
But they're coming. Like, this is not like a prototype. This is actually what they're going to make the bills look like. They're starting with the hundreds and working their way down again.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I only saw it in passing in the news this morning, but I was like, oh, that's going to be fun. We don't handle a lot of money at my job, but still, like, I'm like, there's going to be a lot of people confused by that.
Well, they didn't even touch the hundreds last time. They just did 50s, 20s, 10s, and 5s. And the ones haven't been updated in forever.
No.
Those last four denominations were the last ones to be updated. And I always thought they should do something with the hundreds. Because those were the ones that, at not my last job, but the one before that, I worked at a casino. And we would get
that's
hundreds.
How you work to track the money.
Yeah, almost.
I cheated a little bit. I got professional guidance.
Yeah, almost everybody I've known's worked at the casino at one point or another.
Hey, it's the place to work around here. Of course, apparently I couldn't make it as one of the, airheads. So, I don't work there anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry, October 2013, so next month.
No.
Yes. I'm looking at the article now.
Yay! Oh my god, that looks weird.
Our money looks weird to other countries, so.
Now it's gonna
pretty plain, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's gonna look better?
You're just so used to our old-fashioned everything's green money.
Oh, there's gonna be 2 stripes. Because I can see there's 2 of them.
What?
Yeah, there's one over here.
Oh, that's not a stripe, that's writing.
Yeah, that's the strip on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they still have a strip on the inside, yeah.
Yeah, because I can see that.
Those are going to be fun bills, that's for sure.
Oh, I know if they don't bring it up, the first one I get, I'm calling a manager over.
Yeah, you're going to want to make the people at your work aware of these, because otherwise these are going to get a lot of people are going to turn them back when they're getting them in their, bank, in their checks and stuff.
Yeah, no, they haven't even said anything about this, and they're coming out next month?
Yep.
Well, they originally were going to come out in 2010, but apparently they've been delayed a couple times, and now they're aiming for October.
Well, I definitely will be saying something. Oh, look, that's my dad's birthday. He'll be very excited.
He'll be excited if he's getting $100 bill.
Maybe I'll go to a bank and ask for one.
You're gonna give your dad $100?
Not really.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll ask him to take a picture. I'm friends with a couple of people at some of the banks. I can just ask him, can I hold it? Yeah, but he'll be more jealous if I'm holding it.
I mean, God, how long has it been since we've had... I wonder when they'll update the 1. I mean, I know it's not, like, really high on the list of shit to get updated, but...
Never.
I don't know.
What's the point of updating something that doesn't get counterfeited? Nobody counterfeits ones.
That you know of.
The last time I saw a counterfeited one, it was the worst possible counterfeit on the face of the planet. Somebody had literally made a copy and then flipped the paper over and tried to get it in the same spot, but it was off center and just cut it out.
Wow.
It was the worst thing on the face of the planet.
According to Wikipedia, I don't think it's been redesigned since the 60s.
No.
Yeah.
$2.28. Oh, 76 for the new one.
76.
Five just got an update. Wow. I don't even understand why you would... I guess, yeah, you can get enough 5s together. It'd be a decent amount of money, but I feel like that's a lot of work for a amount that's not very high. Like 20s, 50s, and 100s would be much more logical.
Yeah, but people are looking at the 20s, the 50s, and the 100s. If you do the lower denominations, not so many people are going to look at them, but then you have people who at some point in their lives have been trained, they know what to look for, and they're going to catch you.
I mean, obviously they should be counterfeiting ones. Nobody's looking for ones, as you said.
Mm-hmm. Is that $100,000 bill?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
We don't make those anymore.
Obviously. That's weird, though. Not so much with the 20s.
$10,000 bills. $5,000 bills with James Madison.
Yeah, Wikipedia already has the new images for the 100.
Yeah, but it says the design date is 2009.
Yeah, but remember they've been trying to print it for a while and they've been just fucking up.
It sounds like there's been fuck up after fuck up with the equipment.
Looks kind of cool.
Nice big Hyundai.
I don't know, I guess if nobody had warned me, yeah, I'd certainly be the person going, I'm sorry, this is not $100 bill.
My favorite one by far is we had a lady working as a consultant for us that was from Poland, I want to say, and she had just come here.
Mm-hmm.
And she would pay, like, if she had to, like, if she was going to buy, like, let's say she wanted, like, we would go to, like, if we were out and she had to tip somebody, like, we'd leave, dollar bills, if, like, on, like, a $10, order of food. She used almost entirely presidential gold dollar coins. And I gave her so much shit after, like, the second or third time. Like, you can just use dollar bills. She's like, oh, I like these. I'm like, God.
What are those?
What, things? They're just old versions of the nickel.
Okay, so I've never seen those.
Well, they're really, really old. That's 1796.
And that looks very...
These are probably more the modern ones.
I've never seen one that's shiny.
Mm-hmm. Well, normally by the time it gets to you, it's been in many different ones.
We get shiny pennies a lot. But those...
We should really just stop using a penny. So many other countries now. And they cost more to make than ours.
Yeah, but then you just have to stop having, like, 99 cents.
Most of the time, what's 99 cents is not actually 99 cents when you get up to the till.
Yeah, no, it's like 1.25.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, if they just rounded everything to a 5 cent, then we could stop using pennies.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, nickels would get mass produced.
They are easier or cheaper to make, so Canada has some awesome money.
Wow. Well, I can tell where we got the design for our new one from.
The Canadian $100 bill smells like maple syrup.
It smells
I don't know what denomination it is, but they also have a coin that has a dinosaur on it that glows in the dark, and it's actual money. Their money is weird and awesome.
I want, like, everything of Canadian money now. Well, a $100 bill in Canada is, like, how much in American?
I don't know what the current exchange rate is. Probably pretty close, though.
Really?
Yeah. If anything, you would lose money going to American. It's a game. Let's see, exchange rate, 96 cents, America.
Ooh. Yeah, that's way too close. I'm not going to spend almost $100 to get $100.
From what I understand, most places in Canada just accept American currency because there's almost no difference. So.
Yeah, let's just move to Canada. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, they stopped making their penny in 2012.
And we still get them. All the time. It's like, this is not a penny. Really? It looks like a penny. Read the back.
But yeah, Canadian money is awesome. The British have awesome people in their money, but it's because they came from there, so.
Candy!
I mean, you should probably stop on the candy.
I don't have to sleep.
That's not what I meant.
She'll sleep when she's dead, goddammit.
Well, that's when you're supposed to sleep, right?
You can't sleep when you're dead.
Well, you're not moving.
Who knows? Maybe death is just a very long sleep.
I never liked that terminology associating sleep and death. Doesn't that make sleep frightening?
I gotta know, Gary.
Now that you mentioned
when I die, will I dream?
That's one of the, like, minor subplots of On a Pale Horse, which is part of a book series, of main characters recently become death, as in the figure of death. And this little girl wrote him a letter about how she's so fucking afraid to sleep because her mom makes her say that thing, what's it? Now I lay me down to sleep.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to sleep, and if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to sleep.
She's so afraid that sleeping will mean she dies.
How do you get that from that?
Because she's like 6. And her mom hasn't explained to her what it means, she just makes her do it.
Oh, okay. At least when I was 6, I knew that it was just a prayer that if I happened to die in my sleep, that, God takes my soul.
Yeah, but...
Which now seems extra creepy to me.
Yeah. So. It was a very moving part.
Well, the idea is supposed to be comforting that if you don't wake up again, that you're going to heaven.
Yeah, it's supposed to be comforting.
I can see you. Resuming transmission.
See, my problem has always been that when you start to look into the history of the Abrahamic God, you start to realize some pretty crazy shit that religious people don't even want to hear.
Yeah.
You mean all of it?
That he wasn't always the one All-Father. At one point, he was one of about 12 or 13 other gods in the region who were all part of another system, and that basically those other gods were vanquished and or disappeared because the people who believed in him, the pre-Jews, the best way I can put it, killed off the other people. And the reason why he's so vengeful and warlike is because he was the war god in the polytheistic system that he came from. People are like, no, that's impossible. It's like, well, that's what our history seems to be showing us when we go to excavate these old, ruins. We find all this, stuff that points towards the idea that he wasn't always the All-Father. At one point, he was one of, a whole system of gods, much like most of the region, Greece, Rome. And people are like, no, he's always been the one god. No, he wasn't. Our research seems to indicate that at one point he was not. He is now, and there's nothing wrong with that, but he wasn't when it all started. And that's why you see this huge shift in the general demeanor of this all-powerful being. The longer they write about him, the farther you get in the book, the less vengeful and generally unforgiving this thing is. There's no way in hell the man they hung on the cross was a tall, skinny white man with brown hair. No way.
No way.
No way. If somebody can conclusively prove that to me, I will shut my mouth immediately. But there's no way in my mind that that's the man that was hanging on the cross. I'm completely disregarding any thought that he's a fictional character basically set up to tell a story and to teach lessons. And going with the concept that, we're just going to assume he was a real person. That's not the man that was hanging on the cross.
Yeah.
We know what people from that era looked like from where he was from. They didn't look like that. They shouldn't look like that. Look at the people who live there now, who are, ancestry goes back, hundreds of years or 1,000 years. They don't look like that. That's somebody from Western Europe.
Yeah, but then you go to, what era was that image pretty much created in? Who was in charge?
Well,
Middle Ages, yeah. I know, I understand. I'm just saying,
yeah,
Caucasians have been in power.
But, tell someone that. Tell them that the man hanging on the cross isn't the right image of it.
Oh, I've said that.
They will freak the fuck out.
I said that to my mother, and my mother almost kicked me out of her house.
The comic short pack, but Dave Willis has historically accurate Jesus.
Awesome.
As a character. Oh.
And my whole thing is, I'm not saying that the lessons taught are a bad thing. I mean, there's some good stuff that come out of the morality that they're trying to pass along, but it's it's like the whole thing. My mom was talking to me today about the Golden Rule versus the 10 Commandments. And I think the Golden Rule is a pretty standard thing to work off of. If you just go by the whole treat people like you'd like to be treated,
then you wouldn't be murdering them. If you don't want to be robbed, don't rob.
I wouldn't want to be stolen from. Don't murder. I wouldn't want to be murdered. Don't covet your neighbor's wife. I wouldn't want somebody to be coveting my wife. The actual and the big one that always kills me, the first commandment. What does it actually say? Doesn't say don't have any other gods. Don't have any other gods above me. You can have other gods. They just can't be bigger than the big man himself.
Well, they essentially do with the saints system.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're afraid of saints.
You can't have any other gods. There can only be one God. No, you can. You just can't put them higher on the hierarchy than the big man himself. That's all that says. And people will tell you, no, you can only have one God. The one true God. No, you can. You just can't put them any higher than him. Or it. Or whatever. And people will flip their shit. Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't understand anything. Read it. What does it say? It doesn't say don't have any other gods. It says don't have any other gods above me.
Yeah.
It's another one of those, it's not the faith, it's the people.
It's just, it all boils down to how you interpret things, and that things need to be updated for current times.
As I opened my statement with before, you have two choices. You either take it as the literal word of God, or you take it as a guidebook. They're loose rules to follow. You don't get to do both. Pick one or the other. If you say it's the literal word of God, then shut the hell up. if you say it's a loose guidebook, what the fuck are you talking about? Society changes over 1,000 years. So obviously things like it's okay to have slaves and women women shall not preach have no fucking place in the modern world, in modern society. You don't get to do both. Pick one or the other and then shut the fuck up.
I agree.
There's also
like,
a lot of people have the notion that you need
I'm gonna like it and you're gonna deal with it.
a lot of people, because for some reason I keep seeing it on a lot of my communities on Gold Plus, have this notion that you need this written down moral system or else a person can't have morals.
I'm
That's
an atheist.
ridiculous.
I've been an atheist my entire life. I was raised Roman Catholic, but I never believed a fucking word of it. Why? Because my parents demanded I be smart and think rationally and question everything, and then demanded I be a good Roman Catholic. That does not work.
This is the end of part 4. Don't move. Part 5 is up next. This is part 5.
I don't know why, but I could never, just go full atheist. That's why I chose kind of a middle ground with being agnostic, because I read it and I'm all like, I'm comfortable with that.
There's nothing wrong with you, just like there's nothing wrong with someone being of a specific religion. It's more the person and how they use it. And if you are unsure, then sure, be an agnostic. If you are more sure in a certain area, be that. Just realize that your faith means nothing to the individual. We all need to just strive to be decent fucking human beings.
One of my Zen moments that I told you guys before still comes back to the point when the priest asked me what I had to confess, and I said nothing. I've done the very best I can, and I have nothing that I feel bad about. I have nothing to confess.
The only thing I had was I don't really like my sister or my cousin. And that, I kind of felt
Then
bad that I
don't like
didn't really like them, but...
You don't have to like everybody you meet in life. That's not a sin to not like somebody. Just don't beat them up.
There's a difference between not liking and actively aggressing or subjugating another.
See, if you asked my mother, not liking a member of your family is terrible. You might as well burn in hell.
Yes, but that's not how the rules actually work. That's the whole thing. Your mother can think whatever the fuck she wants, but that's not how the rules work in Catholicism. You don't have to like people, you just don't get to treat them like shit. That's literally what it says.
I'm a generally nice person. I do as much for my family as I physically, mentally, and emotionally can do, but there's always a line.
Well, the Bible says to honor thy father. It says nothing about liking it.
I don't have to listen to my dad. I tell my dad he's full of shit all the time. But that's because I live in the 21st century. I live in an era where my dad does not control my life just because I'm unmarried.
You're not property.
Exactly. I have never been property.
Women like property, but
I mean, you should be glad that you're beyond the property stage. You could just be breeding stock.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
At least most
I've actually had people laugh at me for that line. I'm like, it's not funny. There was a time of 100 years ago when that was a thing. Actually, not 100 years. Now it's more than that, but...
Yeah, we've come very far, but not in that great span of years.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of women who think that we've gotten a lot further than we actually have. Except for most women are just berating on about, oh, we want equality, we want equality, we want equality, but then they still want to get married, they want to have children, they want their husbands to make more money than them. to open doors, pull out chairs, rescue them.
Equality doesn't mean we all have to do the same thing. Like, feminism isn't, or at least my ideal of feminism, isn't that you can't be the housewife and your man can't be the providers, that you have choices outside of that.
We've been over this a couple times. The original point of feminism was that women had the same rights as men. However,
is about her having that choice.
The point I was trying to make is that the majority of women still want the old-fashioned, I am being taken care of by a man.
I would say that you have enough data to say majority, but I would say from a media standpoint, we're still being told that we need a man and he should be supporting us, and that we need a baby.
And it's your choice whether or not you want to believe that. And the majority of girls that I have talked to personally do actually still want to just get married and be taken care of. And it's like, why you can't take care of yourself?
There's still nothing wrong with that. It's just that it shouldn't be our only option. Just like if there's a guy out there who wants to be taking care of someone, that's their ideal of a life. But at the same time, they shouldn't think that for everyone. That's the problem. It's not that women shouldn't be allowed to be housewives. It's that shouldn't be our only option. Just like men have to be the provider, that shouldn't be their only option.
The whole thing goes back to what I originally said. First wave feminists wanted equal rights to men. Second wave feminists started as wanting the same rights as men, but also being called when they wanted it. Which turned into basically hating on men. Men were the problem with society. Men were, if we got rid of men, we wouldn't have these problems. Which evolved into third wave feminists, which are what we have now, which are basically the same idea as first wave, except that basically women want to have, they want the social norm for women to be the same as men. It has less to do with rights because we've already gotten there, There's, not 100%, but you know what I'm saying? Like, equal rights for work and stuff are not as big of an issue as they used to be. Now it's more of like a social norms type, deal.
At least in the sense of men and women, yeah, it's very much still social issues. And then you get into, well, what does gender mean for other people? And then sexuality comes up after that. And we're still in a clusterfuck where people are still thinking in these fake, traditional, binary systems that we don't want.
Yeah.
But
it's that one comic. You can't let your son play with dolls. Think about what example you're setting, or think of what will happen when he grows up. What, he'll be a father?
Mm-hmm.
As it shows, two men feeding their babies.
So one of my many worst days at work, walking down the toy aisle to go to lunch, because the break room is behind the toy aisle and everything.
Yeah.
As I'm walking down the toy aisle, this little boy picks up a doll and is like holding it up to his mom, pretty much asking if he can have it, and she takes it away and goes, "No, that's for girls."
We still have a lot of those.
But he wanted to play with it.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong?
Because we still think, a society still thinks stupid things of men are men, women are women, or that these things will lead to non-heteronormativity, which is supposedly the ideal, even though it's not. It's, to me at least, equality is...
Let me be clear on something. If God forbid, I should ever have children, I have a boy, we'll say, or a girl, I don't give a shit. I have a girl and she wants to, ride motorcycles and monster trucks or whatever. Fine, do it, whatever. Boy wants to wear makeup and, play with dolls, do it. I don't give a shit. As long as they're happy, that's all that matters. Everybody else can get fucked.
Mm-hmm. Yep. A lot of the arguments you're going to hear is, oh no, they'll get bullied. Doesn't that just show that there's a problem with society? Why are we still blaming the victim of the bullying? Shouldn't we, stop the bully?
Yeah.
No, I was just looking at something. No, it's like I think of myself when I was a little kid, like, kindergarten. I thought, what is that, Lisa Frank? I thought that stuff was cool. And that's a little weird, and I admit it. But you know what? I turned out fairly normal.
You are a fine upstanding gentleman.
Little baby,
I don't know. I feel like people worry too much about what's going to happen to their kids. I'm like, dude, just let them be kids. It'll all work out.
Mm-hmm. We worry so much about their future that we forget to let them enjoy what's happening right now. The ability to be a child.
Like, my generation was like the last one to have like a carefree, you know, not organized, not like militaristically scheduled life. And I see these kids are like, you're going to go to school. When you get out of school, you're going to go to this, and you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and you're going to come home, you're going to do your homework, and you're going to go to bed. You're going to do this for 9 months out of the year. And then when summer comes, I've got shit for you to do all summer until you're 18. Then I'm going to kick you out, and you're going to have to figure out the rest of the shit yourself. Never having a childhood.
I'm all for a bit of structure, but I see a lot of people either go overboard or they keep changing up the rules.
Well, it's like, you know, I live in a rich conservative town, and so like basically these kids don't have lives. They just do shit. Their parents find crap for them to do literally all year. They're never not scheduled to do something. They don't just hang out with each other. And so they don't, I mean, yeah, I guess that's alright. I mean, my life was basically just hanging out with people, shooting the shit kind of stuff, and, you know, maybe I didn't make the kind of connections I was supposed to, but it's like, I would hate to do that to my kids. I would feel terrible. I mean, maybe that's because I grew up without all this structure, but it's like, that shit's bananas, yo. Like, I want my kids to be kids. Like, I don't want them to have to be, you know, I want them to take school seriously, you know, much like my parents expected of me, but they don't have to, you know, they don't have to be super geniuses. They just got to give it their best shot.
Mm-hmm.
If they need help, you get them help. You know, if they want to do sports, fine, do sports. That's cool. I'll pay for sports, but I don't want to force them into anything they don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have this whole thing now where, like, you know, the boogeyman is out there, so they've got to be constantly doing stuff so they don't get left, you know, unattended and get, you know, abducted. And it's always a possibility. I'm not saying, you know, there are not boogeymen out there, but it's like...
Well, statistically, the boogeyman is actually somebody you know, so...
Yeah. The kind of shit that happened in Ohio is pretty rare for the most part.
But because it was on the news, everybody panics over it like it's happening every fucking day of the week.
Yeah.
And people are saying, oh, it was better in my time. It's like, no, the news was less prevalent in your time.
Surprisingly, I'm not hardcore left, and I'm not like a militant atheist, so that tells you something. Like, I actually hit pretty much right in the middle for, like, you know, strength of worldviews. Which I find absolutely hilarious, because I'm sure I sound like super militant, but I'm not, oddly enough. Or not enough on the scale to actually hit that point. Which always makes me wonder, like, you know, if I'm like left of center, what does that mean for the people who are far left? Like, I'm just slightly left of center in most of my views. I don't even come off as, like, militant in any specific criteria, politically, economically, socially, personally. So it's like, wow, I mean, you know, I'm pretty opinionated, but apparently not enough to really matter.
Yeah, lots of people shift that. Sorry, Greg saw a picture on my dashboard and was looking at me like, huh.
Yeah?
It's Haruka and Usagi. Lots of people actually ship that.
Oh, yeah.
They
Everybody wants
both
to be
kind of look
Haruka.
like they have elven ears.
It's just the artist's style.
Yeah, they have pointy elven ears.
Yeah, because in the manga, remember, all the girls are, like, not romantically, but, like, weirdly, almost cultily in love with Usagi. And some of that spills over into the anime, but it's more supposed to be like...
It's more camaraderie and less odd love.
It's not romantic love, it's like girl love, or, you know, you mean something to me. And
it's camaraderie.
Yeah. I always just took it as, you know, caring.
Mm-hmm. But for some people, they saw that as, that would be sexy care.
You were both literally describing the form of love called camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's not just for men. No, I mean, literally, like, I was trying to describe to somebody, like how I could love someone without feeling love for them, like romantic love. And I was talking to one of my good friends, like, she's one of my best friends in the entire world, but I don't feel any, like, romantic hug and kiss love for her, you know, it's just, she's my best friend and I'd do anything for her. And it's like, and we were looking at, like a list, like a thesaurus list of, like, you know, forms of love. And camaraderie is basically love minus the romance. And it's like, their best description was like, men go to war and they become brothers in arms. It's camaraderie. It's like, yeah, you do anything for each other, but it's not, you know, it's not sexual love. It's like, you know, it's my brother. He's not heavy, he's my brother. And that's basically what the Sailor Scouts become to each other. It's just this, like, they've been through so much crap together, you know, they get to know each other, they become friends. And, you know, even when they're fighting and they're having their little tiffs, they still, you know, it never becomes so bad that they split permanently. I mean, there's that one episode where, like, the three of them give Usagi the boot, basically. They're like, you know, you're being dumb, you're not a leader. And then they feel bad and they come back to apologize. Like, late at night. I mean, to me, that's...
I remember that episode, and every time I watched it, I always felt like they kind of actually just wimped out. Like, they were thinking about it, and they realized they couldn't do anything without her.
I never saw it as that. I saw it as they all made, you know...
Well, maybe it's because I went back and I watched it. Like, I have a terrible memory. So it's not like I can just go in the back of my head and go, oh, how did I react to it the first time? I just know how I reacted to it after knowing the rest of the series, and then going back and watching it, which is now I know, like, individually, they could not do any of that shit without her. No, it has to be all of them. And in the end, it's just her who has the power to do everything. So, if they would have gotten rid of her a long time ago and just tried to move on by themselves, they would have never accomplished anything.
Well, at that point in time, we didn't know that, though. As far as
it speaks volumes when Luna is basically pleading with the three girls at this point to give Usagi a chance to let her grow as a leader. And they're going, her? A leader? Yeah, right.
She's gonna be your queen someday.
Yeah, but nobody knows that. They're just like, well, she's just some whiny crybaby in the corner. You actually see the one who's been there the longest, Mercury, Amy, kind of starts to go, well, I think we should give her a chance, and Ray stomps on her foot and goes, no!
That's because Ray is a bitch.
It's really funny. If you read her biography on the Sailor Moon wiki, it says she's she has like an undying not camaraderie. What am I trying to say? Like she loves the shit out of Usagi. Like the girl fights with her almost constantly, but it's like her best friend.
The fighting will become a bit less, but not really stop. But yeah, you'll see a lot of subtlety to the relationship, especially when they're fighting, because Ray will often push Usagi out of the way of an attack, or get in front of the attack, or they have actually a great friendship. Just on the surface, they're always bickering.
Yeah, which is totally normal. I mean, there are plenty of friendships that are like that, where you're just looking at them going, God, I can't. Like, there are relationships, there are marriages where you look at the two people and you go, by God, they fight all the time. How do they stay together?
Because the makeup circus is great.
Well, you hear the one. You always love the one. It's like you always hear the one that that the old couple, they're fighting, like they fight like cats and dogs, and you go, well, if you hate each other so much, why do you stay together? Well, I hate his guts, but I can't imagine living without him.
Mm-hmm. Or
I hate her guts, I can't imagine living without her. Like, even if they're fighting, there's this connection that they can't break. That the bickering is only surface deep. It's not a signal of something worse. It's just a sign of deeper problems. It's just them bickering. It's something they do. Not everybody's happy-go-lucky perfect couple. Some people just fight. It's in their nature.
I would not say in a real world setting there's anyone who's never fought with someone they cared about.
Well, what I'm saying is some people fight more than others.
Yeah, and that's just how the relationship works, and that's Ray and Usagi. They bicker, but they're the best friends.
I've never liked Ray. Ray has never been one of my favorite characters.
Dubbed Ray.
And I personally like how Bones mentioned, how you mentioned that, she pushes her out of the way and, will stand in front of it and attack. She doesn't start doing that until after she finds out she's the princess.
Well, yeah, but she's also known her longer by then.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem so much because they automatically, right after finding out she's a princess, they start actually standing in front of her. Oh, we have to protect our princess. And it's like, okay, so that's the only reason. Not because she's weak right now and she needs to be protected, but just because she's your princess. Okay.
Well, that's
awesome.
How you're seeing it. She did it before that too, just not as extremely, but it's more of currently early in the seasons, they've only known each other a couple months. And, they've been in battles together. It won't be at this point in the seasons when the actual dramatic stuff is happening, when their own lives are becoming more and more in danger, where the bonds of friendship become more and more important as it grows.
I think
still like Ray.
I think Reeve is on the right track. I think, and I'm going to make the assumption right now, and this is simply an educated guess. My guess is that like Kiki said, and as I'm pretty much aware, the first season is basically the first 3 or 4 months that they're together, maybe the first 6 months. It seems like it starts in springtime, and it's fall right now in where we're at in the series, and that's 3/4 of the way through the first season. So it's been maybe 4 to 6 months, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't known each other long, because really the first month or two, it's just Sailor Moon by herself, and then she finds Sailor Mercury, and then a little bit later, we'll say early to midsummer, Sailor Mars, and then it's late summer and we meet Jupiter, and I'm gonna say probably late September, early October, we finally meet Venus. In all this time, they've probably spent a grand total of, maybe a couple hours a day together. They're not hanging out, regularly from what I can tell yet. I'm assuming later on it'll become more of a friends, hanging out all the time type deal. Right now, it's more they meet up when they need to, they see each other at school. It's pretty casual.
Yeah, Ray doesn't even have the benefit of going to the same schools, though.
She never does.
Yeah. Ray doesn't have the benefit of going to school with any of them. So she has the least amount of time spent together for bad guys are coming related things. So
yeah, and that might work into it too. And then so the whole thing starts with when she finds out she's the princess. She feels this, maybe it's fealty, this nightly, need to protect the leader kind of thing. But I'm going to assume that they go through more shit together. It's going to change. It's the the crucible fires of warfare, for lack of a better word to use, are going to draw them together and make their bonds stronger.
She never stops being a bitch to her, though.
Well, that's
No,
just
I kind of get the
bitchy, yeah.
feeling she's just kind of a catty Japanese girl. But I'll let it slide just because I like the Miko powers. I think they're hilarious when she whips out the talisman and just like starts chanting shit. Evil killer dolls? There's talismans for that.
Well, yeah. Evil spirit be gone.
Poof. That is. Yeah, I think we've been talking for like 4 hours.
Almost.
Wow.
3 hours and 36 minutes and 40 seconds.
Suck it, future Kiki.
Poor Kiki.
I'm gonna hate past me.
I have to remember to send you back to the past to beat the shit out of your future self.
I'm so weary of time travel, I would never do it. I'd be so afraid that I would screw up something important.
We'll send Mecha Kiki.
Dude, can I just have Mecha Kiki's body? Can I just be Mecha Kiki? Do I get rocket launchers?
No.
Yeah, where your boobs used to be.
No.
Can they be Gatling guns?
No.
Who says you get to any say on what Mecha Kiki looks like?
Because I'm here now?
So, I get to be Mecha Kiki. As Kiki.
Well, you don't know if you have a say in it.
I'm hoping I have a say in it. Also, that Mecha Kiki is not just a mechanized robot that looks like me.
That would be
then
funny.
comes, kill me, and takes over my life.
There'll be you and I will be the equivalent to Bill and Ted and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. There'll be the evil robot us's and the good robot us's.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was what was in that dark abyss in the back of my head that I never wanted to see again.
What, the good robot us's Bones and Kiki?
The Bill and Ted thing.
I love Bill and Ted.
Hey, Bill and Ted are awesome. They're making a third movie.
Oh.
It's just sad that George Carlin isn't alive for.
He'll be with them in spirit.
And
I'm
that's
sure.
the reason why they should not be making it.
I'm sure he's laughing at them from wherever dead comedians are.
I don't know, some dive bar in heaven.
If there's a god, there's no way that he cast George Carlin into hell.
Mm-hmm. And if there
With
is
half of the things that George Carlin said, I'm pretty sure
about
that...
social justice,
I'm pretty sure
if God
that
sent
if it
him
was
to hell
the
for
God that most
cursing,
people believe in, he went to hell.
if God was a thing and he sent him to hell,
Although
I don't want to go to
you
heaven.
realize that hell doesn't exist in either
And-
heaven.
We're speaking in hypotheticals.
This is hyperbole. Hyperbole, sorry.
Hyperbole.
It's the old argument. Why would you worship a god who would punish you for being pragmatic?
Besides,
I have no
apparently
idea.
hell is where all the cool people are.
Oh yeah, we'll have a blast. We'll take over hell from Satan and...
No, I'd just be buddies with him.
It's the old line.
He had a good
If-
idea. He was thrown down to hell for thinking, freedom of choice should be a thing.
No,
Unless
he was
you were
thrown
raised
into hell for
Catholic.
challenging the throne,
Yeah.
just like
For
any
wanting God's
rebel.
power. That's what we were taught.
It depends on what sex you come from, how dickish or not dickish he was.
Yeah.
What's going on over there now?
As far as I'm concerned, if God was really this whole almighty thing, just being challenged by one of the things that he created wouldn't be that much of a threat, so he wouldn't have had to get thrown down anyways.
Apparently God is a whiny little bitch who can't take criticism.
No,
Exactly.
agree. It worked like this. According to Catholic dogma and legend, Lucifer, the Lightbringer, challenged along with about, 65 other angels, challenged the throne. God simply looked at him and called on St. Michael to cast him out for his impotence. Because Nobody fucks with St. Michael. Nobody. I'm not even joking. That's literally like, that's like 10 pages of legend cut down into like 3 lines. That's basically what happened. Basically, a bunch of angels said, why do we need God anyway? God called on St. Michael, his right-hand man, and just fucking cast them out with his flaming sword.
Just...
Which always goes back to the line that you go to hell and you go, so you're Lucifer? Yes. And you punish all the bad people? Yes. So why? I don't know.
See, I don't know why, if heaven and hell actually exist, I don't know why anybody would want to go to heaven. It sounds boring.
Well, many different sects and people have different ideas on what heaven and hell is. But yeah.
Okay, what I was raised with,
Grieve, try to keep in mind that...
hell sounds way more exciting.
Grieve, try to keep in mind that only one group of Christians can be right, so which one is right?
None of them.
That's a scary thought. Turns out the Buddhists got it right. What? Oh yeah, only Buddhists go to heaven. But Buddhists don't believe in heaven.
Yeah.
That's damn right they don't.
I mean, you can make, it would be a bit of a stretch that they have a sort of thing that we would call heaven, but I would not call it heaven.
I wouldn't call what we call heaven. Sounds like a cult.
If there is
you go up to a bunch of pearly gates, the guy tells you whether or not you can come in after listing all your good deeds and bad deeds for everyone to hear. And then, in some versions, you could either find your family right away or spend eternity looking for them, which sounds more hellish than the opposite.
It's like people are saying, and your entire family will be there. What about the ones that supposedly went to hell?
Well, they won't be there. Well, what if I liked the ones who went to hell?
Yeah.
Can I go there?
So if I'm the only one that got to heaven,
I'm alone.
Do I at least get to talk to other people's families?
Oh yeah, I never liked that version. There was a Christian church I went to where apparently if no one else in your family got to heaven, like if the rest of your family was just Satan worshippers and went to hell and all that other kind of stuff, you were the only good person. You are in your own personal heaven. There's nobody else there. And it's like, oh, great. Do I get to take a book? Do I get to do something until someone else in my family decides to be a good person and goes to heaven? And it's like, oh, look, now I have another person to talk to.
I think we all like to believe it's the what dreams may come heaven.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go there either.
Where you make of it what you want. It is like a shapeable, paradise.
Ooh, giant library. Meet me there, okay? Although this is never gonna fucking happen, so I don't know.
No, I imagine, for me at least, if there was some sort of afterlife, I just want to, have the ability to walk the cosmos and do whatever the fuck I want. I'd probably just hang out on Earth and continue to watch television. People would go to sleep, I'd turn on their TVs, okay, I DVR'd that. That's pretty funny.
You have a good point. Although I know that there's too many books that I want to read to actually, read all of them in my lifetime.
Well, if you had all of eternity.
Yeah. I would seriously do that. I'd have, my own personal library of just all these books that I always wanted to read and never had time to do.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my own personal heaven. Shh! No talking in the library. It's my library. You can't come in. Unless I want you to.
And then suddenly there's Kiki with a battery around. Oh, no. Your books suck!
Fine. You can have a part of my library for your crappy books.
I'm on Earth stealing other people's books.
Sneaking into the library in the middle of the night to read books.
No, I'd be a bitch. I'd do it midday. Have a book hanging there in the hallway. Just reading. Not giving a shit if people freaking out. Just. It's a good book. Shh.
I don't think I could be that big of a dick, though.
I wouldn't think of it as being a dick. I'm just enjoying. I wouldn't, actively try to, cause heart attacks or anything, but at the same time, I'd probably get tired of waiting for people not to be around.
Yeah.
To do stuff, so I'd be like, Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Because apparently you don't sleep. That's the part I never understood.
Well,
What if your personal heaven would be being allowed to sleep as long as you wanted to?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just yours, but then nobody else can automatically make the decision? I'm bored. Can I sleep? Oh, that's not my own personal heaven, so I can't? What the hell, dude? Doesn't make any sense to me at all.
To be fair, if I could roam the cosmos, I wouldn't always be on Earth. I'd check out other things. Yeah. Lots of people ship the kid from How to Train Your Dragon and Jack Frost from the Mother Guardian. Hiccup.
I didn't even realize that's who they were.
Yeah.
Oh, now I see it. Oh, those two making out big time. Cool.
Shipping. Where they don't even have to be in the same universe.
Love it.
Link X Sephiroth.
Pounding each other.
Ooh. I want that one. I can't get rid of my thing for yaoi. I just can't get rid of it.
Yeah, I was never into butt sex.
It's preference.
It's not about that. It's that I actually find more romance in a yaoi than I do in regular shoujo.
Well, that's why you have to specify yaoi, not gay porn.
I said yaoi.
Yeah, I'm just saying, yaoi is very much...
It's just usually whenever you say
gooey
yaoi,
boy
people
romance.
think gay porn.
Well, not to say that there isn't submissive yaoi or hardcore yaoi or anything like that, but I would say, like, mainstream yaoi is very gooey romance.
And of course, unfortunately, what I find romantic in a yaoi is I'm going to grab you and I'm going to kiss you until you love me as much as I love you. For some reason, I would hate that if it was in real life. I would really hate that.
Well, yeah, a lot of the porn I watch, I would hate doing in real life.
Thank
That's
you.
the thing.
But
It's
you
a
still
fantasy.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
For some
I don't want to
reason,
be tentacle raped.
that's what I like.
Tentacles don't work like that in the real world anyway.
There was one I was reading where this dude actually got, like, kidnapped and tied to a bed, and this guy just pretty much took care of him.
I mean, personally,
For,
I
like,
would
a
love
month
to.
until he fell in love with him. Huh? Hello?
Bones, say what you were gonna say.
No, that's alright. Continue.
No, she was done.
That's fine.
Personally, I would love to paint a woman like an animal and fuck her doggy style till I came. It's a joke. I'm kidding.
I think there are parties for that, though.
Yeah, I think there are. I think there's four of that.
There are fucking pornos for those. You know how I know? We've produced them ourselves. Anyway.
Yes. Okay, we are almost at 4 hours. And while I have many times said screw you, future Kiki, I know that eventually I will be future Kiki.
I think we should just erase this entire episode. Just.
No! That would be funny, though.
We only have 9 more minutes. We could just talk for 9 more minutes and make it exactly like 4 hours.
When I edit it, though,
Aww.
what that time is doesn't matter to the edited product. It just means there's a lot of shit for me to go through.
How much do you usually cut off?
Mostly silence.
Okay.
And then there's...
So let's say altogether our silences equal about a half an hour. So... Huh? I'm just saying.
There's
You guys are
also...
crazy.
There's also
There you
parts
go.
where I'm putting music in, intros, outros.
So we talked for another half an hour.
Disclaimers for the mad rantings of a crazed cupcake.
Crazy cupcake. I'm sorry, crazy doctor cupcake.
Yes.
What did I say? I'm an edge. What did I say earlier that I had a great line that I want to put on my business card?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Did you say it or did you type it? Say it?
I typed it, I thought.
Let me see.
Was it earlier today that I said it? Yes.
I'm a learned baked good.
For I am a learned baked good. I want that on my fucking business cards. People are like, what? You won't get the joke. Never mind.
I get it.
Well, yeah, because
You're a doctor.
in this cupcake
cupcake.
I want that to be my tagline on all of my fucking business cards. People just stare at me like,
That just gave me an idea.
What?
Making cupcakes with little stethoscopes on them.
I'm sure someone's done it.
I know, but I've never done it.
and you never will. Dun, dun, dun.
That was really mean. I take my baked goods very seriously.
Yes, yes. Like a clown on fire.
I would feel very serious about a clown on fire as he is a person on fire.
Clowns
What?
people too.
And that's a lot of polyester glue. Ooh, that would be shitty.
Oh, that would smell.
And he would be on fire. Or she, if it was a lady clown. Or they, if they're asexual.
Okay, who's been burning the clowns again? What smells like burnt bacon?
Damn it, I wanted to end. Why are we talking about burning clouds? Your phone is dying.
Because can't sleep clowns will eat me.
No.
What smells like ping pong balls in Chicago?
Everything.
Did someone actually get that joke on the other end?
Yes. Okay.
Some content of this episode was edited for time. Circuit past Kiki. Thank you once again for listening to the Super Happy First Abercrombie Party with Kiki, Rose, and that one lady who implies to depowered robot. Farewell.
So, yeah. This was the super happy fun Jabberton Tea Party.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Yes.
What?
We
I
jibber
thought this was
jabbered.
the morning show. What the fuck am I doing here?
We jibber jabbered for a long ass time.
So I'm always happy to have Grieve. We always get so much more material.
I got it.
It's my mother-in-law. Hi. Hi.
Bye.
Hi. That was. I'm Kiki.
I'm Bones.
Yeah, and this thing is Grieve. Why am I doing what the jabber like does? I don't know. Bye.
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 Good night, Cupcake.
Good night.
Ass sleep. Say good night.
We salute you, Doctor.
With all penises.
I am Pianist Cupcake. I will eat you.
Okay, seriously, bye.
Alright. See ya.
I